Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's stream. I got a haircut today. I think today's stream, alright, I did a little bit of work on the forest off camera. I mean, it was recorded, but I didn't live stream it. I went around, continued placing bushes and ferns, so now all the bushes and the ferns are, my nose itches, are all the way in through the forest. And I think the next step to add to this forest is going to be all the leaf litter that'll be around the trees. And then the last thing that I want to add to the forest is all of the grass. I have slowly started getting grass. Yeah, I got a shulker box of grass already. Slowly started getting that. But as mentioned, that's not what I wanted to do. I mean, it kind of was what I wanted to do. Not quite. I just meant to grab it. All right, leaf litter. We got tons of this stuff. Gonna grab 2 more shulker boxes because this stuff goes fast. We're just gonna start kind of spamming it around or at the base of all the trees and probably use it as a transition. Oh, look at that. As a transition between the dirt and, you know what I mean, like do a little bit of this. We really want to go in here. You know what I'm saying? Go in and just kind of place it down. Now, obviously, wow. It's taking more brain power than I thought to place down leaf litter. But yeah, it's mainly I just don't want to mainly don't want to accidentally place it over top of something, you know? So just trying to be careful about that, you know? This is not meant to take this much brain power. But yeah, something a little like that, yeah? Yeah. It looks very, very nice. Ooh. So we just gotta do that to now this whole place. And then with whatever's left, whatever space is left in this area, like all this space here, we can go ahead and fill it in with grass. And it'll look very, very nice. Very excited for that. I'm trying. Okay, so here's the funny thing, right? While I'm at work, I sometimes just like am just thinking out loud, right? And a lot of times I like to remember I need to start writing down the topics that I talk about while I'm working so that I have, you know, something a little bit more prepared. I've been meaning to get topics to have like actual written down, like, okay, let's dive into this. But I always forget what it was that I was last talking about and, you know, why I wanted to talk about it, which I always think is kind of funny. But I think, okay, let's see. Introvertism. That's kind of what I want to talk about today. That's going to be a topic of today, all right? Because it gets annoying sometimes being an introvert, okay? Not for the reasons you think, but not because I have to talk to people. That part's fine. Like, I'm not worried about that. What gets annoying is the notion that people kind of equate. Oh, I forgot. Hold on 1 second. Two things. Forgot to turn that on. Hold on. Pause. There you go. Music. We have music, gentlemen. All right. Secondary. Record it. Okay. The notion, the thing I actually get annoyed about with being an introvert isn't necessarily being an introvert, but the notion that introverted people are antisocial. And people just assume because you don't like talking to people, you are antisocial and you want nothing to do with society and you want to, you know, put yourself in your room and never interact with people. Personally, not me. I don't like doing that. Could I? Probably. I'd probably survive if I were stuck in a position. You know what I mean? Put me in a Mr. Beast challenge where I don't have to interact with people. Give me all the fun stuff to do. And, you know, not have to see people. Like, you ain't gonna catch me being like, oh, I want to see the outside world. Nah, fam. But that's not because I'm antisocial or I don't want to be around people. It's just, as an introvert, I only have so much energy to give to other people. So when I give that energy to things or to people, I want to make sure that that's something I want to give my energy to, right? And so a great example of this is while I'm at work, sometimes you get like your coworkers who try to talk to you. Now, for me personally as well, I also have a couple other things that make it even more difficult than just being introverted. We're just attacking the introvertism right now. We're just not attacking it, but we're just talking about that specifically and not the other niche things. We're not necessarily talking about me specifically or anything. It's just I am an introvert. But it's just one of those things where, like, at work, people will talk to me, and to me, it's like I have a limited amount of energy. Extroverts they recharge their battery by interacting with people, right? That's how they get more battery. That's how they charge. They have to interact with people regularly to charge that battery, so they do so. Whereas introverts require that peace and quiet, that alone time to recharge their battery. And for the sake of the argument, we're just going to say that sleep is not accounted for in that recharge time. Because obviously you can say, oh, well, if you need time away from people, you obviously get 8 hours of sleep, and therefore you're not interacting with people. No. That's not how that works, right? Because you're asleep, you're unconscious. So think of it more as like your battery is staying stagnant more than it is that you are recharging your battery from sleep. Everyone's battery recharges from sleep, but for different reasons. We're talking about your social battery, not your energy battery. Is different. So, introverts, we require peace and quiet, that alone time, that time to ourselves to just relax and to not have to think about the world, not have to interact with people, and just just recharge our battery, right? We have that time for that. And a lot of times, especially for me, again, going back to the work example, now thankfully this has never happened to me, but I'm always afraid that it will one day, is I will be on my break, right? Now, working at Walmart, interacting with customers is a pretty regular occurrence, you know? Like that's an integral part of my job, is to interact with customers, you know? So I need to save that limited energy that I am building up throughout the day of alone time. Now, of course, when I start my day, I have no time to charge that social battery. It is minimally charged from the time beforehand, from resting before the day has even begun, right? That's about as much as I have charged that battery, is from the day previous. It has remained stagnant while I have slept, and then I start the day again, and it begins to charge again because I'm not having to interact with people. But the minute I start having to interact with people, it starts depleting, right? So then you take something like a break, and what I'm always scared of happening is somebody's going to waste that time by trying to talk to me and have a conversation with me while I'm trying to enjoy a break of peace and quiet. Which, granted, sometimes I am just chilling there, and I have people make a comment at me. And again, this is more to me specifically and the other things that go on in my brain. When people make random comments to me, I have literally no idea what to say back to it. I don't know how to respond to a comment. So I hate it when people do that, just because I would, dang it. Because I'm always put into very awkward situations. We're going to get to that part later. But I'm I'm charging my battery as I work. So when I have to interact with customers, I have a pretty full battery, ready to lock, ready and locked and loaded, to interact with customers. We're charging that battery throughout the day. So when I go on break, I want to make sure that I am definitely not just charging my phone battery, but charging my social battery so I can go back out and interact and speak with customers and help them when needed. Granted, again, I'm kind of an interesting use case. Oh, that's right, I can put it on top of this. Yes. Oh, yeah. I forgot you can do that. This is beautiful. So it's really dense in this area, so I'm like making sure I don't friggin' get a thing. Right. So I gotta charge my battery, so I'm gonna use my break time to charge my battery. So if somebody starts talking to me, they're draining my battery, and now I'm not charging it. So if I need to interact with a customer, Lord knows what would happen if I had to interact with a customer if my battery was completely depleted because somebody wanted to have a conversation with me for the entire hour that I was on my lunch. I would have the minimal battery from when I'm working and not interacting with people to actually recharge that battery, And that's not great. And the annoying part is it's always the introvert's fault when they get into positions where their social battery is dead. It's always the introvert's fault for making the situation awkward, for not interacting, for not giving their all when their social battery is completely depleted. Because extroverts, again, charge their battery by interacting. And again, it's this notion that for some reason, being introverted equals antisocial. You hate society is for some reason what introverts get labeled as. You hate society. You don't want to be a part of our society. You want to just do your own thing. And if you're going to treat me like that, then yeah, for goodness sakes, I hate society. I don't want to be a part of a society that looks down on me and makes it feel like introverts are the lesser vert. You know what I mean? That's not great. I'm going to be real with you. That's not great to be in a position like that. I don't like being in that position. It's really annoying. Because introverts are not antisocial. They just need... They require different steps. Actually, this doesn't make sense. Having the leaf litter there. There's no leaves. So I think that's kind of the problem. Now, going back to the awkward thing, right? I do think that getting out of your comfort zone is a good thing for an introvert. However, the problem is that gets extended to literally every situation of their life. There is not a single situation wherever an introvert is allowed to be in their comfort zone. Never. They always have to get out of their comfort zone. But you know who never has to get out of their comfort zone? Extroverts. No one ever is sitting telling an extrovert to shut up, you know what I mean, and get out of their comfort zone. No. They can talk all they want. They can drain an introvert's battery all they want. But if an introvert, they want some peace and quiet because their social battery is absolutely dead from interacting with people all day. They want a silent elevator ride. No, it's their fault for wanting peace and quiet. I don't like that that's the stigma, that's the thought process behind it. And again, it's always the introvert's fault. Dang it. It's always the introvert's fault for not wanting to be put into a situation that's going to make them awkward and that's going to make the other person awkward. So there are, I think, certain situations where extroverts should definitely be taught more to get out of their comfort zone, EX, on the elevator, right? If an extrovert walks onto an elevator and there's an introvert there who's just chilling, with or without headphones, it doesn't matter. Extroverts will do whatever the frick they want, right? I think in a situation like that, the socially correct thing to happen there is not for the extrovert to start talking to the introvert and the introvert to get out of their comfort zone and have a conversation with this extrovert. I think it should be that extrovert, should shut up. Leave the introvert alone. He's in the elevator. He's just minding his own business. The introvert has not done anything to go out of their way to put themselves in this position. They have to take this elevator every day to get to their floor in their apartment complex. But today happened to be the day out of their schedule where an extrovert walked onto that elevator, dang it. And now you are talking to them, and they're like, brother, I just got done with an 8-hour shift at work, interacting with people constantly all day, answering the stupidest questions imaginable because people forget common sense exists and forget to use it. And now you want to have a conversation with me about a topic I couldn't care less about. All I want to do is go home, take a shower, and freaking decompress from the day and start charging my battery. And yet it's my fault for not wanting to be put in this situation. You feel awkward now because, of course, I'm not giving you anything because my battery's dead. So I'm not giving you anything to work off of, but yet it's my fault that's the problem here. It's my fault that you as an extrovert are having a bad time. I don't like that. I don't like that that's the thought process. I think in that situation, it's the extrovert's job to realize the situation and be like, okay, I'm getting onto an elevator with a random person who, for the sake of argument, is wearing headphones. Like, they are in pure wanting to be left alone, but you are still going to go out of your way to talk to them. It should not be expected of that introvert to interact with you and charge your social battery. Because you depleted ever so slightly because you hadn't been able to interact with anybody for a little bit. Just because of what you were doing. Right? Now, if an introvert goes out into a public setting, more predominantly EX, they go to, for lack of a better thing to think of, a bar or, trying to think of, like, very sociable settings, maybe a party, if they're invited to a party, then yeah. Get out of your comfort zone. The introvert, should not stay in their comfort zone and not talk to anybody. They should make somewhat of an effort to interact with people. Now, personally, I have done that. I have gotten out of my comfort zone. I have gone to things I otherwise wouldn't, even though I am an introvert, because I realize I need to get out a little bit more. I do those things. But yet every time I take, I already do those things, but when I say, nah, I don't want to go to this one particularly, oh, you got to get out of your comfort zone. I'm like, I got out of my comfort zone like 47 times this week. I just want one time where I can stay in it, please. And I hate that it's so thrown about where it's like, nope, you got to get out of your comfort zone. Like, for goodness sakes, make the extrovert shut up. Get out of their comfort zone for once. Give that introvert that peace and quiet they've so been desiring, And it's as you can feel the pent-up aggression I have in this topic because it's one of those things that's really, really annoying, Ah, dang it. It's really annoying to be put into these spots. And truthfully, not be able to do anything, and then being blamed for it, for making other people awkward. Dang it. Like, it's not my fault. I am not skilled at this. I do not have this skill set that you possess. Again, normal introverts can get that skill set and can learn how to be more sociable and stuff. I, as I mentioned, have other brain things that make it harder to gain that skill set to a point that I don't think I can. Trust me, I have tried. I have watched videos. I have done my research on the subject matter. Nothing has proven successful. No matter what I try, the issues still persist. So at this point, I think it's a me brain issue with the things that go on in my brain are the root reason I struggle. But that's not what we're talking about here. So, the moral of the story is, leave introverts alone. They did nothing wrong. Them wanting to be in, like, if an introvert's just walking around, like, you know what I really hate, and this happens at work a lot, is the being roped into something unnecessarily is really annoying. Like, somebody makes a comment, they look at you, and they're like, you right? And I'm like, I have no idea what the freak you were talking about. I'm not going to agree with you. And, you always just do the little smile and chuckle and hope they stop caring. that you're there, you know? Like, again, I gotta conserve, dang it. I gotta conserve this social battery. You know, I only got so much of it, dude. There are times where I legit, yeah, you're right, I don't want to waste that precious battery on a thing. Like, especially if I know that let's say I'm going to a party, for example. If I know already that I'm going to a party, then the last thing I want to do is waste my social battery interacting with people. EX, I got a party later tonight. So I am going to, go out. I need to buy a couple things for the party. So I need to buy some, like, chips, maybe a soda or something. I got to get a couple supplies for this party. I got to prepare for it. I got to get some stuff, right? So I go out to the store. Some random extrovert decides, this guy looks like a great guy to talk to, and starts trying to talk to me while we're waiting in line. I have nothing to say. He's talking about sports. He's talking about soccer and how the FIFA went, and I didn't watch it. I don't care about soccer at all. You know, I have just recently learned that adding your own like what you personally have experienced into a conversation is not the correct thing to do in a conversation. You're not supposed to do that. So now I know I can't do that. And I have a party, and I don't really want to be wasting my social battery on this random dude. Dang it. This random dude, because he just wanted to chat. You know? And then he's going to look at me like, what the frick's wrong with you? I'm trying to talk to you. Why are you being so... You know, and he's going to be like, you're so rude. You know, let's say we're in a world where everyone speaks their mind. He's going to be like, you're so rude because you're literally not even, like, interacting right now. And I'm like, I didn't want any of this, man. I just wanted to buy some daggum chips because I'm going to a party, and I need to save my social battery for this party that I'm going to. Like, I don't get at what point you thought I looked like a person that wanted to have a conversation. I'm sorry to disappoint. And it's like, oh man, you freaking people are so antisocial. And it's like, no, I am social. I'm literally going to a social event later tonight, but I need to save as much battery, right? I wasn't at full battery before I came to this store, all right, mister? I wasn't even at full battery. Introverts' batteries charge really slowly, all right? You know what I mean? Introverts' batteries are very slow to charge. So, forgive me for having a very slow battery and not wanting to waste that precious charge on somebody. I mean, you're already wasting it. That's the problem. Like, it's not like we're choosing to conserve battery. Like, you're just draining our battery, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like, there's just nothing we can do. We just have to sit there and take it. Like, all right, well, there goes that 15% of battery that I had. I'm going to now need to leave that party much earlier because I don't have the social, dang it. I don't have the social battery to go much longer into this party because you just wasted most of it, you know? And I just, like, I don't know, man. That's just, I feel like it's not a good thing to deal with that. You know, it's annoying when you're wearing headphones and people interrupt you. And then again, the people who are wearing headphones are the ones who are assumed to be rude for not wanting to engage in a conversation. But I'm like, bro, they're the ones wearing the headphones. They're the ones who are enjoying their time and in their own little world. You're the one who just ripped them out of that world to probably talk about something very pointless. You're wasting their social battery. And yet, the introvert who was just minding their own business. I can't. Okay. Can't put it on purpose. That makes me feel better. And now, it's, for some reason, their fault for making you have a bad time because they didn't interact with you the way you wanted them to. You know what I mean? Like, I wish extroverts had a little bit more social awareness when it came to this kind of stuff and realized, oh, this guy that I'm talking to is an introvert. He's not being rude. He just is having a hard time in this conversation. And, you know, I should probably back off and leave him alone. Like, why, you know, like you're on the bus stop and you're listening to headphones and some dude next to you is just like, hey, bro, the soccer game last night, crazy, wasn't it? It's like, I didn't watch it. It's like, man, this guy's so rude. He's not freaking interacting with me. I'm like, I didn't watch the game. What do you want from me? Welcome in, I don't know. Just dropped in, but you agree? This guy knows what's up. So it's just like, it's rough out here being an introvert. Because you feel, as an introvert, and this is from personal experience, you feel like lesser than. Because you struggle to communicate with people and to talk to people. And it's like, it's not a skill set I have. It's not a skill set I will have. It's a skill set I have tried learning and unsuccessfully have not been able to learn it. All of the advice I've ever gotten to be better at communicating with other people random off topic, well, on topic, but little rabbit trail here about communication. I think I've been doing myself dirty for a really long time, where in like job interviews, when people are like, what are your weaknesses? Because they always ask. I'm always like, communication. What I mean is intrapersonal communication, like a one-on-one at the bus stop. I'm terrible at that. I can't come up with random small talk. That's what I'm bad at. When it comes to customer service, I excel at customer service. I am one of the rare people. I am a rare breed of human being because I am an introvert who loves public speaking. I feel more comfortable standing in front of a stage of 50,000 people than I do talking to a random person at a bus stop. Like, I feel more comfortable on the stage than I do at a bus stop. Because intrapersonal, I struggle to talk with people, but I'm great when I talk at people. You know? I swear having headphones in is just a magnet for talking to people. I don't get it. I know, right? You're just like, you're chilling there. And it depends on the people. Like, it's always this, like, when I'm at work, it's always the same guy, right? I put in my headphones, I'm chilling, I get 15 minutes of break time, and I'm just chilling, scrolling on Instagram. And this guy literally, like, bends over, shows me the work screen, is like, yeah, there's this many items that we need to get. And, other comments about work. And I'm like, bro, we're on our 15-minute break. Like, take a break. Don't think about work. That's the whole point of the break. And I'm like wearing both headphones in right now. I'm like, what do you want? Or the other one, I have another coworker who's a big talker, and she's always jabbering on. And the problem is I can't understand her. Look at this is more me brain issues, right? When people talk to me, I always feel bad because people will say hi or say something, and my brain takes 30 to like 45 seconds to register that somebody had just said something, and then let alone respond to them. And especially in my job where I'm literally walking and shopping. Okay. I work at Walmart, so we get 2 15-minute paid breaks and then an hour-long lunch. So it's not like 15 minutes for a full 8 hours. That is bad. Holy, I'm almost out of leaf litter. Thankfully, it's not that bad. But, yeah. So I was like, it's rough out. So she, like, will make random comments throughout the day about literal nonsense. And I cannot, for the life of me, understand what she is saying. And I have no idea what the socially acceptable way to respond to something like that is. But asking her to repeat herself isn't going to help because I can't understand her cadence and how she speaks. It's not, I literally don't understand the words coming out of her mouth. Now, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just I legitimately am struggling to just understand what's going on, Or, like, I've had my boss, like, I'm one of the shoppers at Walmart, so I go through and I shop for other people, basically. And so while I'm pushing the cart and I'm shopping, my boss literally, this happened, like, yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before, it doesn't matter. My boss, one of my team lead bosses, was walking, and he's like, I think he said hi to me, how are you, or something like that. And it didn't register until, like, 30 to 45 seconds later. And so, like, like, he said it, I obviously didn't hear him, so I just kept walking, doing my job. And then afterwards, I'm like, wait a second, somebody just said something to me, but I don't know what it was, because I didn't hear it. And, like, again, like, I hope he doesn't think I'm rude and ignoring him. It's just I legit did not register what he just said. And it happens all the time. And, like, thankfully, I have trained my brain and my ears to listen out for things like sir. So whenever a customer is like, hey, sir, I naturally just stop in my tracks and I'm like, okay, who said it? And there are times where I I mishear, sir. And so I think somebody said it and I look around and I'm like, who said it? All right, nobody did. We're good. We're clear. But it's crazy. Look, I think an introvert not wanting to be interacted with should no longer be a bad thing. Like, we shouldn't look down on introverts for wanting, again, peace and quiet and wanting social battery. Because, again, introverted does not mean antisocial. It just means we work differently. God made all humans differently. So he made extroverts to be talkative and he made introverts to get work done. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, sometimes it's very difficult because I'll be working. I'll be doing the job. And then I see everyone else who's an extrovert literally not doing the job and just talking. And I'm like, brother, do the work. Why am I... Oh, dang it. Why am I the only one doing work here? And then, of course, like, the person I was just talking about who's like a chatterbox, she struggles to get work done because she gets stuck literally, like, talking. And a lot of times it's just... It's complaining about stuff that would be solved if she just kept working instead of talking about it and complaining about it or making random comments, you know? Yeah, brother. We are one and the same here. We are struggle busing introverts who have to deal with societal pressure for no reason, for no good, just reason, you know? It's just, we're just out here trying to live our lives and society is looking down on us because we struggle to talk with other people because all we want is a little peace and quiet every once in a while. Not that we don't want to be sociable. It's just we pick our sociable times, you know? We like to be in control of when we socialize and when we don't socialize, right? We like having to be able to be like, I want to go to this event and not this one. Like, it shouldn't be expected of us to go to all events, you know? We can't manage that. We don't have enough battery to do that. It's just, we're gonna struggle. Yeah? This might sound weird, but I like the way you talk. I like your vocab. Appreciate that. That is a unique compliment, and I really like that. See, now the analytical part of my brain is going, and I'm trying to analyze the way I speak. All right, fun fact about me. I'm a linguist. I have a minor in linguistics, so, like, you mentioning vocab makes me interested, because I'm like, okay, what semantics am I using here? What words am I specifically? What words tickle your brain, good sir? It's funny, because, like, I have a very interesting cadence, and I think the reason I talk the way that I do, one of the things you may have just noticed, I talk really fast. I blurt out things, and the reason for this, I talk super fast because I'm afraid if I'm talking with somebody, or specifically in a group setting, if I slow down, people are going to cut me off and interrupt me, and it has happened before. Where I'm talking, and then I, like, need to take a breath, or I'm talking at a slower pace, and just kind of, you know, taking my time to say my thoughts, and really think about the thoughts. But because I'm taking extra breaths, and really, you know, letting myself talk, somebody's just going to jut in and interrupt me, and insert their own 2 cents, and then I'm never going to get back to the point I was originally making. There have been times where I am trying to make a point and somebody interrupts me, and a lot of times, like, I've had it before where I was in a Bible study, and I was making a comment about something, and I got interrupted halfway through the comment. I didn't finish what I was saying. So when I got interrupted, it sounded like I was saying something very theologically incorrect, but that's because I didn't finish yet and wrap it all around to make it make sense. And so now I feel like I need to talk super fast in order to make sure that I can say everything that needs to be, that everything that I need to say is said. Because otherwise, if I slow down for even a second, I just lose that moment. It's gone. I only get that one shot to actually... Wow, I'm out of leaf litter. That's crazy. We made pretty good progress. I did not go in an organized way, so it's very hard to tell what I have not and not. Right, because then when my social battery goes down, then I get rude, then I'm a bad person. Exactly. Like, I do think, to a degree, when an introvert loses social battery, there is a certain amount of awareness for them to not be rude, because there's a difference between just being socially dead and, like, essentially being a brick wall to people. That I don't think is rude. But if you're like brushing people off and genuinely being like, hey, get out of my face, that is rude. And you shouldn't do that. So I'm not condoning that behavior. But there are times where like your social battery's dead. Somebody's trying to talk to you and you're like, yeah, and your face, your face is all drooped and you're just kind of like, and they're like, man, this guy's so rude. I'm like, no, I just don't have the social battery, to keep up the appearances of wanting to be here. I can't deny that I don't want to be in this situation right now, But obviously, if you're like, hey, man, yeah, that's great. Okay. Like, hey, I'm trying to go somewhere, oh, I don't have time to talk. Like, there's a tone. There are things you can do to make it a little bit better. And honestly, maybe we just need to normalize bluntness in everyday life. I have really been tempted to just give into my blunt side. And literally, anytime I am in a situation like that, and I am like, okay, my social battery's dead, it'll literally be like, hey, not to be rude or anything, but my social battery is dead, and I'm not going to really be able to engage in this conversation the way you want. And like, just lean into that bluntness and stuff, because I think it would be, one, kind of funny, but also, like, maybe they would understand if I was literally as honest as I could be and was like, yeah, this is where I'm at right now, brother. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just socially dead and cannot manage any more of this conversation at this current moment in time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time, but I must go. Yes, and I talk the same speed as you, and everyone's always like, slow down. I'm like, damn, it's not my fault, Yeah, exactly. You're talking fast because if you slow down, somebody's going to interrupt you. And then once they interrupt you, you can never get back to that spot again. You can never finish that thought. And if you say the wrong things and they cut you off before you can finish the thought, people are going to have a different perspective of you because they have what you were saying versus what you actually meant to say. And now it's just kind of like a struggle bus, Oh, yeah, no. I mean, like, I tell people, hey, I don't really feel like talking right now. And they take it personally. Yeah, no, that is the right way to do it. And they take it personally. It's being like, hey, man, I'm not in a position right now where I can. And you don't want to go on the monologue I'm going on right now every single time your social battery is dead, so they understand your social battery is dead. Extroverts just don't get it, man. Like, talking with other people to an introvert is like an extrovert sitting in isolation, is being home alone all day, not being able to go out because their car broke down, and so they have to stay home all day, and they literally don't interact with people, to the point where they order a pizza just so they can talk to the pizza guy, who just so happened to be an introvert, and that guy's just trying to do his job, and now he's stuck in a 30-minute conversation. His times are going up because he has to deliver other stuff. He has to get back to the store to get other pizza, so he's trying to get out, but he can't, but he's taken as rude because his extrovert social battery was dying because they needed to recharge it by socializing. But no, it's that introvert's fault because he couldn't talk to that extrovert. And it's like, no, bro was just trying to do his job, man. He wasn't looking for a conversation. When I'm working, it gets annoying when people try to have like conversations with me. I'm like, I can't like take a break and stop and have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? All right, here's another thing. I don't know if you do this. I don't know if you, it's kind of funny. I don't know. I don't know if you do this, but like if I am working and I recognize, because I'm walking out on the floor at Walmart, if I recognize somebody, depending on at what level I know this person, I will either say hi to them or like actually kind of avoid them and like try to go as invisible as possible so I don't have to interact with them. Now, in some cases, those people are genuinely there are people that are really hard to interact with, especially as an introvert. That are like more personal. Those people I avoid. And then you've got just like, I know your face, but I don't know you well enough to have a conversation with you. And like, this is the interesting one. This is the hardest one for me is, okay, I haven't seen you in like a year and I have no idea what's been going on in your life. So if I were to speak with you, I have no questions to ask you because I literally don't know anything about you. But you're not a stranger because I have known you last year, And it's like, the best you can do is like, well, what have you been up to? And like, people are always like, well, you ask that question, then you see what else you can bounce off to. And it's like, I've tried that. And, like, I ask people, what have you been up to? And they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm moving out here. And it's like, okay, cool, you're moving. And I freeze up. I don't know what to, oh, dang it. I don't know what to ask for the next question. Like, I don't know what to bounce off of if they say they're moving. I quite literally, dang it. I quite literally need a script so I can figure out what I'm supposed to say and when I'm supposed to say it. Like, okay, if they say this, I gotta say this now. But that's a lot of script to memorize for all of these conversations. That's kind of crazy. I don't know if I could do that. Now, I was in theater, so it could be possible. But at the same time, that seems like a lot of work for very minimal gain, you know? And that's the other thing for us introverts. Like, talking to people usually gives us almost no benefits. So there's really no draw to talk to people. Now, I'm in film, so networking is important, and I do network as best as I can, but there's a certain point where I've already said, hey, remember me the next time you're on another set. That, like, I can only say that so many times. At a certain point, they're getting sick and tired of hearing that, and I don't know if they want to work with me again, because now this is me brain issues. I can't read social situations, so I have no idea if they care or not, and will want me again. I don't know. It might not. But I gotta shriek. These are the challenges. Right, I need someone to either ask me a question back or not end in a closed sentence. Exactly. Closed sentences are the bane of our existence. Because, like, we're not trying to close it. We just don't know. We don't know what is a closing sentence and what isn't. So we're just saying things. Again, we're trying to match the energy of somebody who's way more energetic than us in this given situation, right? We're trying to match that, and it's not working out for us. And so it's kind of a struggle. Oh, dang it. You know, it's kind of a struggle here. And it's just kind of rough cuz like one trick I use that kind of works. It works pretty well is whenever somebody asks me a question, ask that question back. But it only works if that person is of the same likeness of you. EX, you're talking to another college student. Well, that'll work. If they ask me what my major is, I ask them what their major is. It does not work if your likenesses are very different. If like I'm at church and one of the people at church is like, oh, you go to college? Well, what's your major? You know, I can tell them, but I can't ask them what their major is. They've been graduated for the last 30 years. But it feels weird as a college student to be like, well, what do you do for a living? I don't know. To me, that feels really unnatural and weird. Because in my position as a college student, I shouldn't be asking that question. It just feels unnatural. You know? Speaking of unnatural things, at work, we're supposed to, like, greet people as we walk by them and stuff, or something like that. Right? And there's a whole thing. To me, that just seems so unnatural to just greet people randomly. Like, I get it, I'm working, but do I have to greet? Like, you know, and then you start getting to the use cases. Well, like, okay, if you're supposed to greet people within 10 feet. Now, 10 feet is quite a lot of space, all right? 10 feet is a lot of space. Don't want to go too much in here. 10 feet's quite a lot of space. So that's a lot of room that you have to greet somebody, and next thing you know, you're like, you're greeting people, and it feels like the most. I've done it a few times. It just feels like the most unnatural thing ever to be like, hey, how are you? Like, you're just shopping, man. Not to mention, what if they're an introvert too, and they don't want to be talked to? Like, I'm thinking about it from that perspective of like they could be an introvert as well. And I'm now trying to interact with them when I don't want to. You don't want me to, but I'm forced to because my job requires it. So that's the one part of the job I just never do. I don't think I'll ever get fired for that because I'm too good of a worker for them to do that. I'm a literal powerhouse there. They're sad to have me go because of college, but right. And or like they go, I'm moving to, and I'll be like, oh, nice. Do you like it there? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what do I say? Exactly. You're like, yeah, okay, well, what do you like about it? And they're like, oh, it's a pretty cool area. What makes it cool? Oh, you know, it has, like, a couple attractions. What are those? And now it just feels like you're dragging it on more than it needs to be dragged on, you know? And, like, I don't know. Conversations like that don't feel good. And of course, introvert to introvert is so hard, dude. If neither of you have what it takes... Hello, gentlemen. I'm not going to use my sword to not break grass or... Alright, that's good. Alright, keep your eyes peeled. Where have I not put leaf litter? Alright. And then when people say hi to me randomly, I always trip over my response because I wasn't expecting... Exactly, you gotta be mentally prepared. And, like, for some of my coworkers, I've gotten to the point where I'm so mentally prepared in anticipation of them saying hi to me that I end up saying hi to them first, ironically, because I'm waiting for them to say it, that at a certain point when they don't say it, I'm like, hey, sup, man? Because I'm like, you normally always say sup to me. I got guys who say sup to me several times in the day. I think that's super weird. I talked to my dad about it, who's an extrovert, and he's like, that's not that weird that people say hi to you multiple times in a day. I'm like, I feel like it's pretty weird to have somebody say hi to you multiple times in a day. Like, once at the beginning of the day, that makes sense. It's the beginning of the day. But, like, every time we pass each other, you've already seen me today. Why do you need to say hi to me again? It's not like it's a different day. I don't get it. I do need to make sure that there's enough space, for the grass to go in. Yeah, I didn't get this area. Oh, dang it. Granted, I'll probably cover up a lot of this leaf litter, with grass and actually, like, overplace it. Leaf litter is easy to get. It's really easy to get this stuff, so I'm not too concerned about wasting leaf litter. The ferns and the bushes, I'd prefer not to, which is why every once in a while you get... It's literally me talking for an hour, occasionally broken up by, aw, dang it. I spent a lot of time placing these ferns and bushes. But yeah. Did you build this whole thing, by the way? Yes, I did. This has been... So, I did a fun little challenge to specifically build this forest, where I played Elden Ring, but every time I died in Elden Ring, I had to build a tree. As you can see, I died quite a few times. And now we have a forest. And the kind of two end cases for that challenge was I either beat Elden Ring or I build a forest. Alright, is that... I think... Oh, geez, there's, like, still spots in, like, the middle. Yeah, there's, like... Now there's all these random spots that I have not gotten yet, because I just kind of went in random order. But normally I'll be like, hi, at the beginning of the day, and then I'll see them again and give them a nod. Exactly, you give them a nod. You're like, the acknowledgement of, I realize you're there, but there's no need to make verbal communications. Or sometimes people will say something to me, and they'll be like, hi, and I'll literally go, because I'll open my mouth, but no words come out. And I'm just like, well, that's cool. Guess I'm not speaking at that moment. It is. It is rough out here, man. Oh, man. I will say, though, with these trees, I did not design these trees myself. There is one of these trees was built by BOO as the kind of template tree, and then all of the other ones were built by me, but the design is BOO's, because I'm not good enough of building to design and build my own custom trees. I'm good enough to replicate them, which is nice. Like, now I know how to build this tree like the back of my hand, because I've built a forest of them, and we're gonna fill out this entire area with this tree design, so it's gonna be pretty cool. But so I do want to preface that it's not like I designed these trees. Yes, this is a survival server, actually. But no one is currently online. And then you haven't even seen the cool part. You don't even know what this forest is covering up. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This forest is covering up my moss farm. Not a moss farm by technicality, actually. This is my bone meal farm. It is 32 moss farms. Or no, it's 60. No, it's 32. Yeah, because it's 4 times 4. Yeah, because that's 16, 60. Yeah, 32 moss farms. And that's to power all of these buildings because they take a lot of bone blocks. And we might build one of those today, actually. Now, there are internet guys that are coming, oh, dang it, later today because my mom is swapping out the internet. And so we're getting new internet, which is supposed to be better and more specialized to gaming, which is very nice. I didn't even know I knew this was happening today, but I didn't realize this was in the works. And so we're going to get new internet, which is very good because this, my internet, and yeah, the internet just kept cutting out every once in a while. And I don't know if it was the internet or if it was my computer, but like literally yesterday I was editing and my computer just decided internet didn't exist. And it just I had to restart my computer because internet stopped existing. And I had to then work off of an autosave for the editing project because, once the internet went out, the editing stopped working because it edits online to a degree. Alright. Do you see any spots that don't have leaf litter? Let's get it here. Around this tree. Very good, very good. My old computer used to do that, yeah. I'm gonna have my friend who built the computer, who's a computer nerd, because I am not. Despite being my age, okay, this is gonna be another conversation. Despite being my age, I know nothing about tech. So my friend's gonna come over Friday, and he's gonna look at the computer. I'm gonna explain some of the issues that it's been doing, and then think about upgrades. Of course, upgrading is pretty difficult because of cost and stuff, so we do have to consider that. In a little bit, I am going to get something to drink because I'm very, very thirsty. But that's going to be in a little bit. Alright, I think I've got it all. No, I'm missing this side. Okay. We're missing that side. Let's chill. We're almost done. We're now just kind of filling in the little bits. Once we finish with the leaf litter... Once we finish with the leaf littering, we can go ahead and grab ourselves something to drink, switch gears, because I don't think I have enough grass required to finish off the project just yet, and farming grass is not the most interesting thing. So we're going to start building a new building, because I need a couple farms, and I'm actually I'm turning this area. This was originally going to be the base. However, I am now going to turn this into the industrial district, and we're going to build a new base somewhere else. I haven't figured that out yet, but that is the current plan. So I'm going to need just general farms to make things a little bit easier. I'm going to need a wool farm for myself, is one of the things I want to build. I need a bigger pumpkin and melon farm for villager trading. I do already have a pumpkin and melon farm within my villager trading hall, but it is not very fast. So once I use up all the pumpkin and melons, it's empty already, and I need more. So I need a much faster pumpkin and melon farm with a much stronger system. So we can build that in there. I'm thinking of how many farms I can actually put in there, and I'm thinking eventually I want to build another build that will actually be brain farting. Hold up. That's going to be a creeper farm. Because I realized I don't think I've built a creeper farm before. Like, I've played Minecraft for a really long time, but I always opt to build a ghast farm instead of a creeper farm, because ghast tiers are a little bit more useful than just the creeper farm. But I have a cool idea for a design for the building that'll go around the creeper farm, and I really want to build it because I think it would look cool. But that means I need a creeper farm. So that's going to be in the works, and then we'll need a sugarcane farm as well. which will be some other building. All right. Okay, looks like it looks like we're almost there. There's like a couple trees that oh, where was it? There was a tree that this area right here that just didn't have leaf litter. It's funny, I'm putting in all of this effort to put in all these little details, but most of these aren't going to be seen because who's going to be walking by foot through a forest? Well, I guess I would. In order to get down, I have to walk by foot. There is a hidden entrance to that area, which used to not be hidden because there was only one tree that was built in this design, which is very bad. There's only one of those, and then the one rock that was somewhere out in this area to get down. However, now we have a forest. This forest's purpose is literally to cover up and hide that one area. And so now there is the one way. There's the one way there, which is pretty cool. Now I know where that is, which is actually... I need to get rid of this. It's actually right here. This is an elevator, so that's why I had to get rid of the leaf litter, because obviously that button opens up this elevator. But I think it's pretty well hidden. Alright, I think that's it. I think that's all the leaf littering. I have not seen very empty space. And if there is, that's fine. We'll fill it up with grass. Obviously, we left a lot of stuff with grass, so yeah. See, I'm a boring Minecraft player. I cough. Might make something like that. I cough, might make something like that. I'm not sure I understand this. Alright, we can put this into there. That can go into there, and then we have 2 more shulk boxes of that. It just takes time. The beautiful thing about Minecraft is you just gotta keep trugging. I don't know if that's a word. You just gotta keep going. This tree right here with the azalea on top, this is the beat-up tree. Hidden, kind of just hidden in the midst of it all. But you can only really see it if you spot that. But all the other ones that don't have azalea on them, which is literally every other tree, is the ones that I have built. A lot of work has gone into this. So if we open up our little map, we've got our forest over here. This building over here. We're going to be building a build right here, which will hold a wool farm. I think the wool farm will go on the bottom. Will be the bottommost layer. And then on top of that, the top of it will be a giant pumpkin and melon farm. This is our iron farm. This is our villager trading hall. So naturally, everything is kind of a farm. This is our storage system. But I do plan to upgrade to a new one. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm not enjoying this Etho style one with the shulker boxes. Because one, it's hard to figure out where stuff is. I have to constantly look and throw it in and all that. And I honestly like a good old storage system like this. So, I'm sorry, I'm back. My Twitch cut out. Ooh, that's unfortunate. I am going to grab something to drink real quick. I will be right back, though. Oh, I can finish this. Hold up. ER tree, or ER undergrowth, I should say. Actually, let me be more specific. Leaf litter, because that's exactly what happened. Today is 8/20/26, right? Yes. Okay. Save that. Disconnect. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. You're gonna take a shower because you gotta get out? Oh, you probably already had out, but thank you for joining me. Open this shit up. Started blocking it so it doesn't spew onto my computer. More accurately, my keyboard. Okay. Cool. So, gear shift. We are... Let's see here. How do I want to do this? I've been using Endstone as, like, a base platform block, especially for the roads. However... I don't know how much I want to keep doing. I don't think I want to do that for this. I think I want stone for this part of the project. Even though I really don't have a lot of it, I think that's going to be better to use stone. So to go ahead and over. Welcome in, Denod. Appreciate the work. Alright, so we are going to build a new building right here. This is where things get a little bit complicated. So there's a couple reasons why I want to put a building right here. One, once I get this building right here, I can start worrying about the lights that are going to go in this area, which will be really, really nice. I also need to probably terraform this a little bit and just put some grass there as well. But obviously, yeah, so let's start off by just outlining this. Right, so this is the chunk border. This will finish it off. So where do I want this to sit? Probably this chunk, this chunk, this chunk, this chunk. Have it be in these four. And then I'm thinking about actually having the parking lot in the back here. And then it's just like a stone platform kind of there. But having a parking lot probably be the four chunks behind it, which would line up with this. Very nice. I think I like that. I think I like that plan. Yeah, so it's this chunk. Then it's this chunk. Ooh. Alright. Alright, so then it should be this, right? So, bop, bop. Yep. And then we want to go not 4 chunks. We now want to go 8 chunks. And we want to make sure everything is at this level. Yeah. I may or may not put a sugarcane farm inside of here. I am not sure yet if I want to do that. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the new chunk borders. I don't like that this happens. It's just so weird looking. Like, I understand why that happens. Like, why they would want to do that. But I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a big fan of it. Alright. And then we need to go one more chunk out. And that's the parking lot. So yeah. This is going to be the parking lot behind this. So it has its own small, personalized parking lot. I don't think you realize how small it's actually going to be. Like, it feels like it's a large area, 4 chunks, but then you realize how large a parking lot actually is. And, like, by theoretically, I feel like this is the parking lot of 2 buildings. This is not enough space. The people are going to park in here. Now, this giant thing is mainly for the guys over there. But I do think that parking garage is large enough to host other people as well. Oh, that is interesting. Right, this goes down. I might change that. I think I'll probably just change that. Raise this all up by a block so it lines up with this. Because trying to figure out how that's going to go town feels weird, man. And I think it would probably suit us better if it was just raised up all the way, and it'll raise up all the way to there, and it goes down and it goes that way. I think that just makes more sense to me personally. And it'll also make the transition into the garage, as in where they turn, which I don't know where that's going to be yet. I kind of have to build it up first. So got to put all of these in here. Then I got to chop all these trees down, get those out of the way. And we can start working on the infrastructure a little bit. I am going to just fill this in right now because there's nothing in the way. Because I had already cleared the trees for the road. So we're good on that front. There was another topic I wanted to talk about. This is the problem when... Oh, I actually have a really good topic now that I'm about to just say this. This is the problem with ADHD, is you forget things like this really easily, where, like, I remembered earlier, but now I have forgotten completely. But it's like I'm like a sleeper agent. You say the right words, it'll come back to me. Alright, so speaking about it, the reason why I want to bring this up, one thing that really annoys me about content creators is the people, and this really, I don't like this when people do this. When people put in their, like, tags for content creation, their disabilities, and this is the bigger issue with it, their disabilities, right? Because I think a lot of people misunderstand a lot of disabilities. And the problem, I don't know why I grabbed all of these out, because I'm going to need to put them away anyways. Lol. Okay. I need this box for chopping trees. The issue I have is that people will put that there, and I don't like that. I don't like it when people use their disability as a label for themselves, and again, make that their identity, because that's not correct. You should not make your disability your identity, because it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And, like, for me personally, and the secondary issue that I have with people doing that is I don't believe it's true 90% of the time. Like, I feel like in today's day and age, we've gotten to this real big problem of self-diagnosis, where everyone thinks they know what they have, when in reality, they only have, like, a singular symptom, or have exuded one characteristic of this mental disorder. I should specify this is mostly mental disorders, because obviously most people aren't faking physical ones, because that's almost impossible to do unless you're really committed to the bit. But otherwise, it's all mental. So it's the big ones are obviously ADHD is a really big one. Dyslexia, I think, is the biggest one, especially when we're talking about the context of content creators. I feel like every content creator is dyslexic, right? They all claim that they're dyslexic. I don't believe that they actually are, because here's the issue. What actually happens? I'm not dyslexic, okay? Do I misread things? Yeah. Do I sometimes look at a bookshelf, read a singular word off of all the book titles, and look back because the word made me surprised? Like, I'll be looking at things, and I'll be gazing through something, a bunch of different words, and I'll be like, chicken. And I'll look back, and I'm like, where did I see chicken? Where did I see the word chicken? And it's nowhere to be found, because I didn't see the word chicken. That's not dyslexic. That's just my brain putting chicken in there for no reason. Dyslexic is literally like, the letters in the words are swapping up and moving to a degree. Like, Percy Jackson, the movie, I think it does a good job of visually displaying what dyslexia would look like in somebody, where, like, you're trying to read something and the letters are literally, wobbling and moving, and it's like, it's quite literally, you cannot read because everything is moving and nothing ever stops. And the issue with content creators is that content creators say, oh, they misread something. They're like, oh, sorry, I'm dyslexic. I'm like, no, you're not. You're reading a chat that is moving, for most people, it's moving, and you misread it because you saw one word you looked away at your game, then you looked back to continue reading it. It moved up slightly, so when you keep reading it, or while you're reading it, it's moving, so your eyes are trailing with it. And next thing you know, bingo bango, you misread a word. That doesn't make you dyslexic. You just misread a word. The same thing is true about, like, ADHD. I feel like a lot of people say, oh, I'm ADHD. And, like, it's things like, dude, I'm so ADHD. I literally forgot my water bottle at church the other day. I'm so ADHD. And it's like, oh, how many times have you done that? It's like, oh, I mean, it was just this one time, man. But, like, ADHD, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I did that, like, 4 times in the last month, you know? Like, I had to implement an entire routine just to make sure I wouldn't do that again. I don't see you doing that. I think you just forgot it, you know? Or, like, let me break something down to you. ADHD is literally, you'll be talking about something, next thing you know, brain blank. You forget. Have you ever been talking and you literally forget what you're talking about? Like, mid-sentence. You just forget what you're talking about. Alright, it sounds like the internet guys are here. I don't know if they're going to have to shut off the internet or not. My mom said they might need to. However, if they're putting in a new internet, our current provider has not stopped. So theoretically, it should be fine. I don't know why I went down first, because now I need to go back up. I just placed all those. So it's really annoying because, like, anytime I click onto a streamer and in their little tags, like where it says introverted, chillax, like those tags, anytime I see those, I should probably take introverted off of that. Every time I see those, and one of those says like ADHD or something, I'm like, no. Just no. Not because I have anything against people with ADHD. It's because I don't think you actually have ADHD. You are not showing any signs of ADHD. And that's a lot of times the problem. It's like you'll watch them and you're like, you said you have ADHD. You're not showing any signs of ADHD. You know what I'm saying? I have been diagnosed with ADHD. By technicality, I've been diagnosed with ADD, but I remember there being some kerfuffle between ADD and ADHD where they, like, ADD doesn't actually exist and it's just ADHD, but it's like a different variant. Either way, I have ADHD. For sake of argument, I have ADHD. Diagnosed ADHD. I have a version of ADHD that most people probably don't realize exists. Instead of being hyper, I'm hypo, right? Attention hyper, deficit disorder, right? But instead of it being hyper, it's hypo. What does that mean? That basically means that all of the ADHD isms that you can think of, all the stereotypes, instead of it being an outward thing, all happens inwardly. Which is when, earlier in my entire hour-long conversation about introverts, and I kept mentioning the other brain things that I got going on, I got that going on as well. So I got this never-ending stream of thoughts that are constantly happening, which is why I'll be talking, and then something will spur an idea, and then I gotta stop and think about the idea, and I gotta do something about it, and you watch me long enough, you'll be like, yeah, that guy's ADHD. I don't need to put a little tag that says that I am. You look at me long enough, yeah. Now, it gets ironic when we talk about self-diagnosis, because I think I may have self-diagnosed myself. Now, by technicality, not really, but also yes, okay? I'm, like, pretty positive. I'm probably autistic. Now, autism is a spectrum anyways, right? It's not everyone's autistic by technicality, which is why it's like self-diagnosis. I mean, everyone's autistic, technically. It's a spectrum. But I probably fall higher on it. I have taken, like, an online test just for the funny, and my score said you show several signs. No, severe. You use the word severe. You have severe signs of autism. And I'm like, yes. And the other thing is my sister is in mental fields, right? She's working to be like social work, therapist, psychologist, etc. She's in that area. So she knows this stuff, and she knows the symptoms, and she's looking at me, and, like, obviously she's known me her whole life, so she's like, yeah, I'm not legally allowed to diagnose you, but I would. And I'm like, then I, watch all the videos and stuff that are about, like, symptoms, and it's like, if you have autism, you probably, and I'm like, I literally check all of those boxes all the time. Like, and it explains so much. When we go back to the introverts, just that, like, the fact that I struggle with social cues and making eye contact is weird to me. Okay, let me just list out the symptoms for you, because I feel like here's the problem. The problem with self-diagnosis is, again, it's like one symptom. Like, it's like one person's like, man, yeah, I tried talking to somebody. It was so awkward. I'm so socially awkward. I'm probably autistic. Like, being socially awkward is just being socially awkward. But if you're like, literally cannot pick up on social cues, are extremely blunt, which I am. Now, I have learned, and this is why I don't think I'm, like, fully there. And I do know that, like, high-functioning autism, it also exists. So if I were to diagnose myself, I'd probably give myself that. Because obviously, a lot of times when you think of somebody who's, like, autistic up there, you would probably, like, they wouldn't be able to drive. They wouldn't really be able to have a job without help. I know somebody who's up there with autism. There's somebody that goes to my church that's up there with autism, like, actually autistic. Which made me think that I'm definitely not, because I'm not that. But again, it's a spectrum. So I scored, like, a 60 out of 100, which feels accurate. But, like, I tell you certain things, you're like, oh, yeah. Like, for example, I don't like to eat food. Let that sink in. Like, I don't like the physical chewing and digestion, all of that process. I don't like it. That tells you something. Normal people don't really think about that kind of stuff. It all adds up. Now, the difference between me and another person is that I'm right. So my self-diagnosis is right. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. It's a joke. The difference is that I'm aware that I am not actually diagnosed. So I'm not going to walk around labeling myself as autistic. But I might slip in a joke here and there, like I probably am. Because, like, again, I show all of the signs that you would find in most autists, like, in actual autism tests. And all the jokes about people where it's like, yeah, I see all the Instagram reels where somebody, like, pops into the doctor's office and, like, I'm here for the autism test. And I'm like, okay, yeah, have a seat. If you were invited to a party, would you go? And then the answer is, it depends. All right, you have autism. And I'm like, it's true. It does depend. Do I know the person? Do I not know the person? You have to go through all the things. It's a very autistic thing. Most people, it's either yes or no. If you're invited to a party, yeah, I'd go. Who cares? Free food, free other stuff, all that kind of stuff. Hold up. I'm getting a text message from a friend. It's important. No. I am streaming, though. But I should be done in time for volleyball. I always play volleyball, so I usually end before 4:30-ish, definitely. Oh, I got a lot of notifications that are going on. No internet change today. They have to run cable underground from road, and that is someone else, 3 to 5 days. Okay. Looks like we don't have to worry about any of the internet stuff, which is great. Nothing else is important. We're good. Oh, random thought. ADHD right there, where I just get a random thought. Okay, what spurred it on is while I was looking through, I saw my Instagram. My Instagram reminded me of the Instagram videos that I make of tasting random foods, which reminded me what I had for lunch. I had a really fancy grilled cheese for lunch. That's some context for you, all right? Really fancy grilled cheese for lunch today, okay? I had a PB&J grilled cheese again, except I only used cheese. I used Gruyere, something like that. It's a French word. I didn't really look up how to pronounce it. I think it's funnier if I pronounce it wrong. Plus, people correcting me and typing in the comments is interaction, which actually boosts reels. So, doing things incorrectly is kind of a good thing, because it actually helps. But either way, that cheese is meant to be like a nutty cheese. It definitely was. And then I had Chevier goat milk cheese, hand-rolled goat milk cheese that was blueberry and vanilla as the jelly. It wasn't bad. I think I preferred the just like slapping peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich and putting cheddar cheese in the middle of it much better, because those flavors, like, it's basically the peanut butter meshes well with the jelly and the cheese individually, but the cheese and the jelly don't go together, which is the separation, but it meshes better. The issue with the grilled cheese is that the grilled cheese, the one I had today, the fancy one, the issue that I had with it was, also, again, the ADHD, like, you can see it. I'm telling you, you could spot it. The fact that I just repeated myself several times over and still have not said my point, because my brain is struggling to figure out what that point is that I'm trying to make currently, and trying to remember the words that I specifically used this morning to describe it. Okay, the cheeses didn't mesh well together. That's not the right way to put it. They worked well together. They tasted good together, I should say that. But the goat cheese is a very noticeable flavor compared to regular cheese, like cow milk cheese. And so that you could taste the difference between the two cheeses, which made it not as good as the other one because it did not blend. That's the word I'm looking for. It did not blend the way you would want it to. The original suggestion was the Gruyere cheese and blueberry brie. I couldn't find blueberry brie, so I went with the goat milk because it was actually a fruit flavored, like a fruit cheese, you know? Well, it had fruit in it, basically. But I definitely want to try that again, because I think that could be... It was a good one, and I think I had too much of the Gruyere, so I think next time I'm going to try it a little bit differently. Because I think that would make it really good, is to use less of the Gruyere, and instead shred it, because I literally cut off, like, a slice. I tried to cut off a slice. Clearly, the cheese was not made to be sliced. I think it's made to be shredded. So we'll shred it next time, and we'll put the shreddings onto the goat milk portion of it. We'll spread the goat milk cheese on it. And I think that'll taste really good. I think that'll make a really good grilled cheese. Dude, for my thesis set, I should totally have a day where I just make everybody grilled cheeses, and I will have all of the supplies to make all of these grilled cheeses, and we'll see what people want. I will give the people what they want. I'm like, you want a PB&J grilled cheese? You want the fancy or the non-fancy? You want a s'mores grilled cheese? You want, I haven't tried the Reese's, the peanut butter cup grilled cheese yet. That's the only one I have yet to try. So definitely got to try that at some point. I don't know when, though, because I'm getting back into school, and I don't have time. Maybe I come home on a Wednesday in the afternoon in between classes, because that's during the convo period. So there's like a 3-hour gap, so I could probably come home, try it, make a video about it. I gotta upload it. I got 3 videos that are currently in the waiting, needed to be edited and uploaded. Speaking of editing, I've started the editing process for the recorded session. We had our first session last Saturday, and I've now started editing. Audio is more workable than I thought it was going to be, but there's certainly challenges. The funny thing is, the main guy, the Dungeon Master, for just an easier term, the Dungeon Master's audio, way worse than I was hoping it'd be. Unfortunately, and this is an issue I had with my videos for a really long time, the audio wasn't split in OBS. So that means the microphone and the music were on the same audio track. So there's no way to split or separate them in post, because they're recorded onto the same, they're embedded into each other. It's weird, because they're like, the bad news of one thing ends up being the good news for another thing. So the bad news about the microphones we were using is they could pick up all audio. They heard everything. The good news is that also means they were picking up the Dungeon Master, meaning I can just make it when he talks louder on those mics and not use his audio and not have to worry about it. So I think the audio is going to be really janky, and you're going to notice that it's cut up, but it will be audible. And the first 2 sessions are going to have these problems. The second session is probably going to be a little bit worse because 4 of the receivers died. But then again, people's microphones kept jumping receivers. You could hear it. One of their microphones you can hear jumping to a different receiver as he's speaking, which is crazy. His specifically was jumping receivers all the time. It was weird. Also, I need to go under here. I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it. I need to light up the bottom there. But, hell, a lot of editing. Originally, I was planning on doing it in a bunch of phases, where, like, phase 1 was getting everything on the timeline that I wanted to. Phase 2, I'm almost out of shroom lights. I do have some glowstone. And a little bit of frog lights. The problem is I don't want to use those, because at least for shroom lights, I have a farm for it. Speaking of which, I kind of want to move that farm into a building over here. And again, like, actually have this place be more filled up with buildings instead of what I currently have, where it's going to be mostly forest. As great as the forest looks, it's also friggin' hard to build that forest. Like, it takes a lot of work to build that forest. So to build a giant forest wouldn't be great, but to have the terraforming and the forest as just a part of the general would be probably more beneficial than actually going through. I don't remember what I was talking about. Gentlemen, it just happened. You didn't think it could happen, but as I'm speaking, I forgot what I was talking about. I do not remember what point I was trying to make. No need to go that far down, because creatures are probably not going to be getting out of there very much. We just want to make sure that the edges are not going to spawn any mobs. Right about there. We can go ahead and just put, like, one right there, and that's fine. Alright, perfect. Definitely going to need to run the shroom lights again, because I need more of these. Okay. Very good, very good. Yeah. So, yeah, the editing has been kind of crazy for it. Instead of doing it all in phases, where I do, phase 1, get everything on the timeline. Phase 2 is audio. It's just going through and fixing the audio. I don't think I can sit there and fix the audio for the 3 hours and 40 minutes that the video is. I don't think I can sit there that long. So instead, I'm going to work in a way that my brain works better. And we're going to edit a little bit. We're going to edit it in sections. So we're going to do the phases, but only to a section of the video instead of to the video as a whole. And so we're going to do, we've already done the timeline portion for the intro sequence. Then I've done the audio, where I fixed it up as best as I could. And there's probably more tweaking that I will do as I go on. But at least we got something. The hardest thing was syncing the audio, because all of the mics were recorded onto one singular recording. And there's 3 different cameras. 4 technically. There's 4 cameras. 2 for the players, for either side of the table, for those 3 players. 1 for the Dungeon Master. Now that is, the Dungeon Master audio and video are going onto one recording. The players are on 2 different recordings, with the audio only being on one of those recordings, for all 6 players. So that means when the left side of the table ends up showing up, that means I need it to be, yeah, that means I need it to be friggin'... Yeah, I forgot again. I need the audio to be good. I need to sync it up so that way the audio is on the right video file, not the left one. So that means I needed to sync it to the left. And then now, because I'm using that same audio for the Dungeon Master, I need to make sure that he is also synced to that audio. Which that took forever. I had to take like a literal couple minutes to just think, what direction do I need to move it in to sync it up? and find a point in time where he was making a sound that would be easily matchable to audio, which I went with because it's really easy to tell when somebody is making because their mouth closed. A lot of times when you sync audio, this is something I need to make sure they do. When they start, they need to all clap. Mind your ears. The reason why is if I want to sync the video and the audio, it's a very loud noise. Sorry for anyone wearing headphones. It's a very loud noise. So that clap would allow me to sync the audio because everyone's audio would have the clap and we would have the visual representation of when the hands go, clap is there. Boom. That's why you use a marker when you're doing, that's why you use the slate to sync audio. Now, there are fancier audio syncing devices. One of them is called the Tentacle Sync, which basically connects the camera to the audio via time code. So they're basically on the same time code. And then you can sync all the audio via time code. And that works very consistently. Otherwise, you have to do it manually. Because there's no other way. And so we're going to have to do that. For the next recording that they do, we'll do that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there for that recording because I'll probably be filming. Now, I might be able to make it. But as of right now, it is looking like that is not the case. Okay. Very good. So now we have this. Yeah, so this four are going to be the guys. Now, if we look at the way these work, right? It's... Oh. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add 3 to this side. Just to add a little bit of girth to this side because I need it for the build. I think it'll help. For right now, we're just going to do this again so we have a little bit of a bigger platform to work off of. More than anything else. Man, of course there's trees like right here, dude. Alright, now, this is the other part of the ADHD that you can spot, is the hyperfixation, where it's now becoming to be difficult to talk and place blocks at the same time. Not because this process is mentally intensive, like sometimes building can be, but just because I'm getting into such a lull that I'm, like, zoning into it and just, like, this is where I could do this for hours because my brain is just that hyperfixation. That's another thing, like, a lot of people like to use as, oh, you know, I'm so ADHD, I hyperfixate. And, like, I don't think people realize that normal people can have ADHD symptoms and do things that are quote-unquote ADHD without having ADHD. Like, a normal person can just hyperfixate on something. It's once those things become a regular occurrence, then you probably have the actual thing itself. Then you probably have ADHD because you're hyperfixating all of the time. You either can't focus or you can only focus. And there's never an in-between. Whereas, like, some people are like, oh man, I had so much trouble focusing today. And I'm like, it's not because you're ADHD, that's just because you struggled to focus today. Like, that has nothing to do with ADHD and you. It's just you happen to just not be able to focus. And that happens. Okay. I'm just gonna grab... Okay. I'm gonna grab that. So we're gonna need this. I probably am gonna use all of this, so I'm gonna grab that. Another shulker box of deep slate. Wow, I have a lot of deep slate. That's good. A decent amount of cobble deep slate as well. Holy, I'm loaded on deep slate. When did I get this much deep slate? This is great. Okay. So now, how did I do it again? I gotta remember. Okay, yeah, so this is the edge of that. So this is the corner, so we go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 blocks away from the edge, yeah. So, 1, 2, 3. This should be 3 blocks. 3 blocks. And then how many? I haven't built one of these buildings in so long. And then it's 4 blocks up, right? Yep. I need to sleep before I do this. That would be preferable. Okay. Now. Right. Oh, gentlemen, I'm schmoving with it. I'm not as schmoving with it with this one. Not as schmoving with it with that one either. We were just schmoving with the other one. That is 3, right? Okay. So now we've got our little box. Man, I love fast right click, dude. It makes building so much easier. Like, it's a nice little convenience to have, you know? But it's not really cheating, because you're not doing anything that really is impossible. I guess this uses less deep slate than I thought. So I lied. We will in fact need to do that. I vastly misjudged the amount of deep slate I'd made. Okay. And then of course, on here we need to do deep slate tiles. Yeah, deep slate tiles, deep slate tile, and then the mud, and of course all of the trapdoors. All the iron trapdoors, which we've got plenty of those. We've got plenty of those. We're chilling on that front. Yeah. So today, alright, one thing I'd like to mention. This is the last stream before I go to school, probably. Unless I can magically find time on Sunday to stream, this is probably the last stream that I can do, which is most unfortunate, because we're going to school. And sadly, my schedule is like 8 to 9 a.m. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Or actually, it's probably like 9 to 9, I think. I'm over-exaggerating, because of course it varies per day when we start in the day. Some days start at 8. I think Monday starts at 10, which is nice. But then the next day it starts earlier. Because we need to fit more things in the day. And then I have an intensive the first 2 weeks of school, which is 5 to 9, or 5:15 to 9:15. I have no time. Gentlemen, I can only work 4 hours this next week. Because the one shift that I was maybe going to pick up, now, the good news, my bosses are amazing. I have talked with them extensively about trying to get everything working. I'm glad I'm getting my schedule this early. Because otherwise it's kind of insane. Otherwise, like, there's just... Oh, man. Yeah, it's not great. That should be enough. I reckon that's enough. How many, trapdoors do I already have? Plenty of them. But yeah, so school is starting next Monday. I think the only reason why I'm able to get away with working 4 hours is because this first week is kind of like an exception. It's every other, right? Or is it every 2? No, it's every other. Yeah. That's right. Oh. This is right. This is true. I think it's like there. Yeah, because I think it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. I am remembering how to build my own builds in my own style. There we go. The Brutalist style is not for the faint of heart. Brutalist is, in fact, brutal. Alright. And this is the easier part. I'm glad I gave myself a little extra room here to work. Otherwise, I would be falling off of the edge, and that would not be good. But yeah, so today I had a meeting with my professor to go over some stuff. Mainly, I have a couple classes that I got to clean up after I'm out of the film program, which is next year. So I do have to stay a year longer, but that's not much of a concern. And I had known that going into it, so I already knew that. My professor obviously did not know that. What's the easiest way to do this? Is it just to go? Yeah, because I kind of have to go around. I think it's going to be easier to go up the top. And do this. So yeah. So I had to talk about that, get that sorted today. Got a haircut if you haven't noticed. So that's nice. Yeah, I did a lot of errands today. It's crazy gearing up for school. It's getting close, that's for sure. It's getting gosh darn close. Which is nice. I got 2 shifts at Walmart. What's going on? Got 2 more shifts. I got Friday and Saturday, and that's it. Then I'm done. Got to go over to Dungeon Master's house Saturday after work because I got to help him get that audio stuff set up since I'm not probably going to be there the morning of, and it would be better not to worry about that the morning of. Everything should work the way I want to. We're swapping over to these mics because this is much better. It's going to work much better. It's going to be much cleaner. I don't know why I didn't start there. I think I panicked a little bit when I got asked and went to immediately trying to go high-end but cheap, but I should have just gone the cheaper, easier alternative rather than trying to go for a theoretically professional because now that is kind of screwing us over. Again, as the editor who is having to deal with all of these audio problems, I'm really killing myself for not fixing these sooner. It's rough out here. But I only have myself to blame. Gentlemen, I only have myself to blame. I need more rockets. This is why I need to make a rocket factory, because I run out of rockets, and I fly around a lot to the places of my base, so. Oh, shoot. I didn't realize bro asked for my age a while ago. I did not see that comment. I'm gonna be real with you. I know some people don't like talking about it. Now, I've talked about personal, like, what classifies as personal details. We'll go ahead and revisit it. Because I know some people really don't like giving out personal information, especially as, like, a content creator. Now, from my perspective, it doesn't bother me because I plan to go into film. Which means if I make it, people are going to know things about me anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Like, my face is already going to be known. You know, it doesn't really matter. Like, if I make it as a director or if I end up getting into acting somehow again and or something, you know, whatever God ends up deciding to work, right? Whatever I go into, like, people are going to know me. Like, people are going to be able to look me up and find all of this information online anyways. Do not know if that is. Like, do I have... Sugar plums, gentlemen, I do not have more mud. This is not good. I do not have more mud. Alright, I might be able to buy more mud, but this might also be enough. So things like my age does not concern me to put out there, because that's probably going to be information that people know. No, you can't do anything with age. My name as well is not... People, I feel like, covet their name, that might be the wrong word, online, I feel like people are always like, oh, don't share your name online. And it's like, when you, ironically, after our introverted discussion, when you meet somebody new and you talk to them, complete stranger, what's the first bit of information you're probably exchanging with that person? Hi, my name is blank. Names are really not that special. So knowing somebody's name is not that crazy, I feel like, because you're probably going to get somebody's name by just talking to them anyways. And again, if I end up becoming famous, my name is going to be the one that people will know me by. They're not going to know me by a username. There is no pseudonym that I'm going to go by. People will know what my real name is. It's already going to be on a movie. Like, I've already worked on 2 movies now. My name is going to be on both of those. Dang it. My name is going to be on both of those movies. Right? First and last name, gentlemen. And I'm probably going to sit here and advertise that you go watch those movies. Because, well, one of them's I. The other one I think has way more potential. The one I did for my school is like, you can watch it. I don't think it's going to be crazy. I don't think it was that bad. Like, plot-wise, it was just standard typical Shaq plot line, you know what I mean? It's the Shaq, basically, without trauma. Truthfully, that is what it is. I just realized that this movie is not going to do very well because, okay, so context. I was just thinking about the Backrooms. Even more context. The reason why this is not racist is because the main character for the movie that I worked on was black, and the main character of the Backrooms is black, so that's how I connected the two. And in the Backrooms, I only could get like 30 minutes in because, and this is a story issue, the main character had like nothing going for him. There was no reason for you to like the main character at all. He had no save the cat moments. And I'm pretty sure in the movie we worked on, there is also equally no save the cat moment. Holy, I had exactly the amount needed to cover up all of this. That is insane. That's actually kind of crazy. How tall are these? Are these 64? I think these are 64 blocks tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. It's 32 blocks tall. 32 blocks tall. Let's build up a pillar so we can have a 32 block tall pillar, and then we can build all the farms on the inside, and then after that we can figure out what the outside's gonna look like based on what's inside. Where do I keep all my bones? Keep them in here. Keep them in there. Very good, very good. That's not enough bone blocks, by the way, but that's okay. We got plenty of bone blocks in the depths below. So yeah. So that's why I don't think that movie's gonna do great, because the main character has no save the plot, has no save the cat moment. The general idea of it is just the shack. But again, it's the shack, but there's no trauma. Like in the shack, the guy loses his daughter, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we can just go up until we hit 32. Should not replace it until we get really low. Boom. There we go. So that's as tall as this is going to be. Which is crazy that this building is, in fact, just shy of being... It is a block shorter than this building, than the entire parking garage. And, of course, you have this behemoth back here. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. So... that's something. Save the cat moments are very important in stories, alright? You need them, okay? Without a save the cat moment, there's, like, no reason for you to like the main character at all, and that's not good. You need to like the main character, because if you don't like your main character, well, then there's no point in watching the movies, and then you get the issue with the Backrooms. The draw to the Backrooms was never going to be its story. It was just the fact that people had already known the Backrooms from what Kane Pixels had already made, and so when he makes a movie for it, that's why A24 was like, yeah, we'll pick it up, because people know the Backrooms, so they're gonna, oh, dang it. They're gonna watch this movie, not because the movie's gonna be great, but because we can slap the IP, IP stands for, I forgot it, it doesn't matter. IP, intellectual property, that's the word. The intellectual property of the Backrooms. That's what's gonna draw people to watch this movie. Not because the movie is great, not because the director's great, not even because the actors are even that well. Like, they're not known, but they're not, like, big-name stars by any means, right? Meanwhile, you have, like, Curry Bakers, who makes Obsession, and that's all about story. That one is made with the story in mind, and that's why it did well, and that's why it's good. It's a good movie. I'd recommend watching it. But yeah, that's the point. Backrooms only has its little bit of success, not because the story is amazing or anything like that, or because it has big name people a part of it or associated with it, other than A24. But simply because the Backrooms is well known and has millions of views on YouTube. Again, that's probably why A24 decided to pick up the movie. Which is ironic, because you just... It's fascinating to me that producers, even still, will not really go along with an indie production because they don't believe it'll ever succeed. But you look at the statistics, I feel like somebody's got to do the statistics. You look at the statistics of the indie creators who make successful movies compared to the big studio movies that get made that are actual trash. And then you have the difference between Obsession and the Backrooms, where the Backrooms is only interesting because it's the Backrooms. Everyone knows what the Backrooms is, you know? And that's the problem, because the movie doesn't actually explain it. Like, I know of it because of film theory, not because I've ever seen the videos. But so I really didn't know what I was getting into, other than a very few basic things of knowledge. So yeah. Welcome in, Jordan. How you doing today? How you doing? And so, like, Backrooms was only gonna get people to watch it because it was the Backrooms. Whereas Obsession literally got popular because of word of mouth. People were talking about it because it was a good movie. K-Pop Demon Hunter is another example. It was just a really good movie, so people kept talking about it, people kept wanting to watch it. But then you have Disney making all of their remakes and their movies suck. Not necessarily, you know, well, they have their live-action remakes, right? Oh, I forgot I had the store box. Oh, I had a little bit of stuff in here. That's bad. I'm probably going to need a sugar box. 2 sugar boxes ought to be enough to finish this off. So yeah. That's kind of like, that's the problem. And Disney, like, my beef with Disney is they're literally a brand. And so people will, quote-unquote, watch their movies, not because the movie itself is good or anything like that, but simply because it has the Disney brand associated with it. And that, to me, is, like, not good. Like, I don't know about you, homie, but I now have no, like, I will never watch a Disney movie. Not really never watch it, but I really won't go for a Disney movie because I'm just going to assume it's bad because their brand makes bad movies. They make movies that aren't interesting, that usually have propaganda in it that I don't care for, and have themes that I don't care for. And it's like, they're just not well-made stories. Like, they're just not interesting stories. The characters aren't interesting. Nothing about it is worth watching. You know? And I really, like, I only go to watch movies now if people recommend it. And that's the only reason I watched Obsession, because enough people were talking about it and were interested in it, that it was worth watching. To be honest, I have no idea about any of these things you're talking about right now. That's fair. You missed it earlier. I went on a whole hour-long rant about introverts at the beginning of stream today. And I understand. Because it's really hard to have a conversation if both parties do not know the subject matter well enough. And like a lot of times, I wish I knew things more so I could have more engaging conversations. But like, I usually don't know anything about what anybody else is talking about. And it makes it really hard to have conversations. You're just gonna stay in your lane? Nah, I say just spit it out. This is the place to spit it out. I love talking about hot takes because it's hard to come up with topics, and hot takes usually got me fired up. And they're fun to dive into. I want to dive into, for my streams, just in general, this is a little nugget for y'all for my plans with my streams. But I like diving into tough, difficult conversations, and I'm hoping that if I make it big with content creation, that people will come in here with actual hot is not the word I want to say, but it's the only word that keeps coming. Difficult to talk about conversations, and I can actually, instead of ignoring it like all other content creators do, they're like, we want to avoid political stuff, we want to avoid religious stuff, they avoid all of that stuff to just try to keep it. Nah, I want to dive into it. I want to break those down and just kind of discuss it and have civil debates. Now, if the party is not willing to have a civil debate, then we will not have the civil debate. If they're just gonna go crazy, then they go crazy. Yeah, you're gonna probably get kicked out because I want to have a debate. I want to have a conversation. I do not want you to scream at me. Now, the benefit is I literally have the mic, and you have a keyboard. So, that is the nice thing. I don't actually have to worry about you, or about somebody cutting me off or anything like that, which is nice. But, I do want to do that and dive into that and go into that kind of vibes. And, of course, with the intention of it all leading back to Christ in some way. Because that's always what I gotta have as the main goal, of course, with content creation and with the fame that I seek, is to glorify Christ through it. So, gentlemen, that is the plans for my content creation right there. Very nice, very nice. We'll see how well that pans out for me. My streams have been doing a lot better lately, which has been really nice. The dual stream, the streaming two different games probably isn't necessarily helping, because obviously those are two very different audiences. And so I don't know how well it's going to do. I am excited for when I get my Elden Ring challenge video done. I'm excited for when I get that done. But it's going to take a while to get to that point. What's your opinion about Melchizedek being a better priest than Aaron? I don't really want to get into... I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. It's a joke. It's a joke. All right. Melchizedek being... Okay, well, I have an even crazier hot take for you about Melchizedek. I don't think you're ready for this. Okay? We're about to break down one of my favorite, fan theories about the Bible and Scripture. So to answer your question, before I get into this, I would say yes. And here's the reason why. I believe Melchizedek was God. Was Jesus... kind of pre-Jesus, you know what I mean? Here's why. Abraham tithed to Melchizedek. That as a concept did not exist yet because there was no law yet. There was no Mosaic law because Abraham predated Moses, right? I'm not crazy with that. I shouldn't be crazy with that. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Tithing didn't exist yet for Abraham, right? The son, but not Jesus. Interesting, could be. So, right. I went on a whole theory about this. I gotta remember. Give me a second to like remember all of the plot points, because I like had this whole plotted out, this whole chart. Because I used to always believe that Melchizedek was what's the term for like Christ before Christ? There's a specific term for it. I'm just gonna call it a Jesusism, because I can't remember the word, the actual like theological word for it. But Jesus before he was like actually Jesus. But I used to believe that, but now I kind of believe that he's God. So you have Hebrews, which describes Melchizedek, and it's like, here's Melchizedek, here's how much he's like Jesus, or how much Jesus was like Melchizedek, other way around. They're like, look at Melchizedek, look at Jesus, and how close they are. Oh, geez, what was... Oh, now, hold on. I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. Hold on. Oh, I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. Hold on. Oh, where would I have written that down? Now it's bugging me, because I want to say it right. Wait. Maybe it's in quotes by me. Did I write it down in here? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's now bugging me. I gotta find it. Channel directory, that's the one I'm looking for. Is it not in here? No. Shoot, okay. I can't remember where I wrote it down. Oh, I want to say it right. I have not thought about this in so long. Oh, this is 4? Oh, because I was already up to. Yes. Okay, so Jesus is the Son of God. Melchizedek is the King of Salem. We're going to say this in the most, like, out of order way, because I'm just trying to remember all the details. Melchizedek was the king of Salem. Salem also is another word for peace. So in other words, okay. Melchizedek is the king of Salem. Salem is another word for peace. Jesus is the Son of God. And also another word and another phrase used to describe Jesus is the Prince of Peace. If Melchizedek is the king of Salem, aka peace, and Jesus is the Prince of Peace, aka the son of a king, then that would make Jesus the son of Melchizedek, which would make Melchizedek God. That's what it was. That's my little fan theory. Oh, thank you that I remembered that. That's my little fan theory. There's more to it than just that, but that's like the super... Salem is also the future site of Jerusalem. I like the fan theory. Yeah! And then, of course, you have the Hebrews, which is, it's 7. It's Hebrews 7, I think. It's either Hebrews 7 or Hebrews 2. I never remember. But one of those chapters is all about Venn diagramming Jesus and Melchizedek, basically. It's like, here's Melchizedek, and here's how Jesus was like him. And here, here's how good Melchizedek was, and here's how Jesus was like him. So, 6-7 wall? Get that for guy. Don't make me ban you for the 6-7 right now. Yeah. Melchizedek is God. That's my little fan theory right there. See, the lovely thing about little fan theories like this if you're if you're a good Christian, okay, that's a really bad way to say that, but bear with me, because okay, we're gonna go on a little rant after this, right? If you're a good Christian, right, you can have fun with little fan theories like this, you know, because they have no consequence, right? They don't alter my faith in any way. They don't change my salvation in any way, because I still believe through Christ alone. It's a little like fun little thing that's over here. It's tertiary in theology, which is really nice, instead of primary or secondary. And the problem is some Christians start confusing it all, and next thing you know, they're like, you know, it's now like, okay, well, you know, oh, you know, Melchizedek can't be God because blah, 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 and they get way too into it, and I'm like, bro, it was just a little fun fan theory. Like, on a scale of how much do I actually believe it, I like to just go to the extreme and go to the, like, why not believe it? Again, it does not hurt nor help me to believe this little fan theory. Like, it does nothing at the end of the day to think about these things. Perfect theology is not a requirement. Exactly. And I think that was very intentional by design by God. Because I definitely think God made us all different from each other very intentionally. Because that's going to help us bring us together, as our differences are what should unify us, but for some reason our differences are what separate us. And we, as a human race and as Christians, for some reason believe that those two are separate. Hey, but thank you for joining in, Jordan. Appreciate the little lurk there, the work. Right, so we as Christians, for some reason, believe that our differences ought to separate us and make us different. And now it's like we have different denominations. We have... Is this supposed to be that? Yeah. I'm doing this right. And I don't get that. I don't know why that is. I don't know where we got that idea from, that needed to be the case. Right? Why is it that us being different, us having different theologies, has to be the end-all, be-all? I don't know why that ever entered our stream of conscious. That sounds like something that an enemy would do to kind of break us apart, is not create the theologies themselves, because I think if I were to go down that route, some Christians would be like, well, yeah, my theology is the correct one, and the devil made your theology, because that's what you're saying, right? So he made your theology, and I'm like, no. What I'm saying is all of the theologies... All theology, okay, maybe not all theology, but all theology that does not contradict the scriptures and itself are, I think, good doctrine, right? This is things like Calvinism versus Arminianism, pre versus post versus all-millennialism, those kind of things, where the theologies oppose, not contradict, oppose each other, but they do not inherently... or they don't contradict scripture itself. Like, you go down the line of Calvinism, you can find everything in the scriptures. It doesn't contradict itself. Whereas the incorrect theology, such as like pantheism, you can find scriptures that contradict it and that don't align with it. And even then, with like Mormon theology or Jehovah's Witness theology, it contradicts scripture and does not agree with scripture. And so that's how we can tell those are not good doctrine. But all the ones that would fall into that, after you go through the extensive research to figure out, well, does it actually align with scripture? Then you're left with a bunch of different theologies that all align with scripture, but oppose each other in some cases. Again, Calvinism versus Arminianism is like the easiest example, because most people are very familiar with that are interested in this subject, right? So, I'm going to put lights down real quick. Hold up. What am I doing? Come on. I think we're going to go with lanterns for this. I think lanterns is probably the best for this a little bit. So, given that, I think theology should be treated more as a tool to be used by Christians to reach the world, right? And for some reason, we're using it as a way to fight amongst ourselves. I don't get it. Why? Why we do this? Why are we using theology as a way to separate each other out? Like, oh, you believe this, you need to go over there. Oh, you believe this, you need to be over here. Like, no. We can believe two different things. We can agree to disagree. Like, I can be a Calvinist, you can be an Arminianist, and when we're preaching the gospel together, we'll come across use cases where this guy, Arminianism is a much better theology to help get him to understand Christ. But for this other guy, Calvinism is a much better theology to get him to help understand Christ. Because at the end of the day, theology is meant to help us understand God and get us closer to God at the end of the day. So us fighting amongst ourselves, which theology is correct, is doing the exact opposite of that, and that's where the devil comes in. That's where he goes in and uses that and breeds a culture of toxic Christianity, because he wants to separate us. He wants us to not get along with each other. So he's making us think we need to separate each other out. Whereas God, I would assume, and this is my personal belief, that God made all these individual theologies for this exact reason. Because one theology works well for one person and another theology works well for another person. Most people would never like a deterministic line of thinking. Most people don't like that. I do. I really like that. It helps me understand God and understand the things that he does so much better now because of that line of thinking. For some people, it wouldn't. It would make it so hard for them to be like, but this, but that, but that. Don't believe it then. Don't believe that theology. Don't follow that line of thinking because it doesn't help you. Find the theology that is going to best get you to understand God and think about God in a way. Because think about it, God himself is a concept that we cannot grasp. So if we try to grasp it with meager theology, what the best we can do is theology, we'll still never be able to encapsulate all of what God is. We just can't do it. No language can encapsulate all that God is. Right? So we shouldn't try. We should get as close as we can. And we should use the language that best helps us get there. But at the end of the day, again, it should never be an end-all, be-all situation. You know? It should never get to that point where it's an end-all, be-all situation. Again, our differences should unify us. The church should never have really been these denominations as unique, separate churches and get everyone of the same belief in one church to believe and to talk about and listen to the things they already believe wholeheartedly. But instead, we should have churches full of people of differing beliefs. Again, this is all in the context of everyone being a Christian and having primary doctrine already set. This is purely people of tertiary doctrines, and even secondary for that matter. All of these doctrines coming together, and you should have a church that is a spread of people who are Presbyterian, who are Assemblies of God, who are Baptists, or evangelicals, all of that, all in one place. So at the end of a service, all of them can discuss and be like, well, in my line of thinking, I look at it this way. And maybe somebody will go, well, I never thought about it that way. Or maybe somebody will be like, well, I have thought about it that way, but this works a little bit better for me. I understand it through this lens. And then maybe another person's like, well, now that I thought you have these two, that's interesting. Now they have to dive deeper into scripture to say, well, now they have to dive closer to God to get an understanding. But with the way church is currently set up, we're not doing that because it's all yes. It's just all yes. Church, oh my God, church is literally a yes man. It's everybody in your back corner just saying yes. You know? And I think the church needs to challenge its congregation way more than it already is. If there's a topic that's a struggle at your church, like, you know, for example, a big one could be women being allowed to speak in church. That's just the first thing that came to mind. Women being allowed to speak at church. Obviously, people are very divided among this. If your church is one of those that has division, talk about it. ignore it. Don't push it to the side and say, let's not talk about that because our church struggles to understand it. No, talk about it. Help them understand. Pull different things. Have person A who believes, no, absolutely not. A woman should not be able to teach. It says that in scripture. Have them give a message and point it all out. And everyone's like, wow, I didn't think about that. You're right. It's so obvious. Next week, exact opposite. No, here's why they should be allowed to teach. Here's all the evidence that's found and why this is wrong and the context and all of that. Holy, now that person that last week was like, man, you were so right. Now they're like, hold up. Those are good points. I didn't think. Then somebody maybe in the middle where it's like, okay, well, you could look at it this way, or just a different point of view should be the way we're going about it. But I feel like right now we're not. And because of that, we're not strengthening the church in any way or the congregation because we're not trying to. We're trying to be too PC. And if there's one thing I know for a fact, Jesus was not PC. Bro was not trying to be politically correct, all right? He was trying to be capital C correct, right? Jesus was preaching the word. He was the living, breathing word itself. In the beginning was the word. The word was with God and the word was God. Boom. That's exactly what Jesus did, right? He did not care if the words that he said offended you. Because guess what, people? Offending people is not a sin, gentlemen. Offend away. Okay, don't actually do that. Be respectful in the way you bring up these topics. But if somebody gets offended along the way, that's not a bad thing. That just means, okay, well, now I got to look into that. Again, the church should be encouraging its congregation to dive deeper into scripture and to dive deeper and closer into knowing who God is and truly understanding the ununderstandable concept that is the living, breathing God. Again, language itself cannot describe God. There is no way to encapsulate it. The best we can do is get as close as we can and hope we get close enough. But it's a good thing that getting into heaven was a very simple concept. Christ alone. Boom. It is said in the scriptures, primary doctrine right there, Christ alone, no dispute. If they don't believe that, then it's not Christian. Jesus made that very clear. Everything else, let's talk about that. Let's figure it out. Let's dive into it. Let's try to understand. Let's try to understand each other. Not agree with each other, not get each other to think the same things, but just to understand. You can understand somebody without agreeing with them. It's called agreeing to disagree. And basically, Jesus with the Pharisees is basically where he got every time. He's like, all right, we just got to agree to disagree. You don't like me because you don't like what I preach, because you know that it's true. And I think that's exactly why the Pharisees didn't like Jesus. Not because they believed that he was speaking incorrectly, but because I feel like it's similar to atheistic beliefs, where it's less of, I don't believe it because it's not true. I don't want to believe it because it is true. Because the truth of it hurts my position, and I'm not willing to give up my position. I feel like atheists are atheists not because they genuinely don't believe. Because if you didn't believe in God, you wouldn't spend your whole life proving him wrong. So in order to prove him wrong, you'd have to first believe that he exists. Isn't that crazy? And in the same vein, Christianity is the exact opposite. In order for you to believe in God, you first have to believe that he's not real. Because you need to spend your whole life proving that he is. Doubt is not a bad thing. We keep making it look like it's a bad thing. It's not. Doubt breeds faith. Without doubt, you can't have faith. Right? You don't have faith in the chair that you sit in because you know that chair is going to hold you up. You know that for a fact. There's no faith in that. But that's the point. If we knew for a fact that God existed and that Christ and all of these things, if we knew for a fact all of these things we believe in, there would be no reason to have faith. But it's the fact that we don't know, we're not 100% sure. It's that doubt that breeds that faith. Now that faith then extends one further. That faith then breeds belief. Now that you have faith, you can now start to believe the things you actually have faith in. And then once you have that belief, oh, let's see if I can remember this freaking triangle. Once you have belief, actually, I think I remember where I wrote that down. I have written this down, and I think I remember where I wrote it. I think I remember where I wrote this. Doubt is the foundation of faith. Faith is the foundation of belief. Belief is the foundation of relationship. And this is the one that I'm always hesitant for, because this is the one that, like, definitely needs, like, deep research into. Relationship is the foundation of salvation. Now, there might be... Maybe... This is the one I think I just need to figure out a better way to, I think I just need to figure out a better way to phrase that, because that makes it sound kind of crazy. But it's the idea of, again, you need doubt to have faith. You need faith to believe. Once you have belief, you can start the relationship. I honestly want... No. That's right. I changed it to relationship is the foundation for... Restoration is the word that's coming to mind. Repentance. Relationship is the foundation of repentance. Now that you have a relationship with God, you now repent. Now, these stages happen in varying degrees. But gentlemen, atheists are in the faith area. They have so much faith in God that they have to prove him wrong because they believe he exists. You know what I'm saying? Kind of crazy. Alright, cool. So, gentlemen, that's pretty crazy. Also, gentlemen, holy crap, I just built an entire building. Just like that, gentlemen, we have a building here now. You might have blinked and missed it, but there's a building here right now. What's the next step? I didn't plan this far ahead. Okay. What is the next step? Holy, okay. So we got this. I obviously need... I need a crosswalk, which I'm probably going to put the crosswalk, like, right here. Probably just open this whole thing up, right? No? Maybe? I don't know. That doesn't look... Yeah, that looks fine. Let me grab, concrete. I'll get rid of that. So, yeah. Churches need to challenge its people. That's why I went on that rant, or not rant, but that's why I went on that whole sermon mode about works. And my dad gave a really great way to distinguish it, is the difference between work and works. Because you are not saved by works, but work is an expectation after salvation. Again, it's an outward reflection of an inward change, right? It's something that happens after the fact, not something that happens before, and we're confusing the two. And that's the problem. And so it would be dispelling the difference between works and work, and making sure that the people realize that they need to do work in order to progress that way, you know? What am I grabbing? I'm grabbing wool. Where's my wool? It's in the colored blocks. I need white wool. I do got white wool. Very good. Yeah. I got a lot of sermons in there, and a lot of these sermons I want to give one day, but I need to just make them. I need to just sit. I actually did start making the works one. Now the work v works. I feel like I would prefer it if the actual first one was inside of that. Gentlemen, I know I just did all this work, but we're gonna I'm going to undo it. And then we're going to get rid of the lines here. Right? And do that. And so I need to get rid of... Right. And then obviously that needs to go there. That's already got stuff, so I'm going to actually put this one here. I guess I can go like that. Perfect. And now we've got a little crosswalk. It's awkward because it's obviously not where the light's going to be. So the light's going to go, and then right here is there's just a crosswalk. But it makes more sense to have the crosswalk where the staircase is than to have the crosswalk right here. That just feels really weird to have a crosswalk right here. Also, should this be white? I feel like this should be white, not yellow. It looks kind of weird. Let me see how it looks being white. Does that look natural? Does that look better? Better than the other ones? Oh, yeah. I think that's much better. I think that looks more like a rib. Yellow just doesn't fit, I don't think. It works as the lines, but not as these. Do I want to actually... I don't think I actually like this. I'm gonna be real with you. Don't think I like having this guy here. This doesn't make sense. Oh. I think this is the problem right here. Oh. I think without those... Yeah. Yeah, that looks way more natural. That looks way better. Do I want... No, I don't think that's necessary. Okay. Let's drop all this stuff off and get ourselves some black concrete to finish this off. Let's do this, gentlemen. Whoa. That's too far. I was able to successfully... I was able to successfully transcribe the audio from the last time I talked about the work sermon, right? Or now the work sermon. I was able to successfully transfer all of that information. Where's the... all that information to a Google Sheet, and now I've got it spread out, and I also was able to use AI to give me an outline of what the sermon would look like. So now I have like an outline that I can work off of. And remember, all AI did, it didn't create anything for me. All it did was compile my own thoughts. Oh. Oh wait, no, there's again stuff right here. Very good, very good. All it did was compile the data that I had already given it. So I could actually, figure it out, you know? So AI was used, but not to create anything. It just helped me compile again, with the ADHD, helped me compile my wonky thoughts into something that could actually be used. All right, so perfect. So now we have this. Probably actually have a entrance right here. It's probably what I would say. And then probably right underneath this, have the guardrail, like this. Have that going around. I guess that's one out. Something like that. Yeah. Let's worry about that later. I'm gonna raise this section up by a block. Oops. It's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Oh. It's not gonna work, obviously. We can, in turn, take this and put that there, and move this probably right there. And then obviously do that. And then this one right here. Very good. And that's still perfectly lit on the road. Is very good. Okay, now we need all the end stone to act as our little road there, or a little base plate. Very good, very good, very good. Yeah, so we'll get that done. I'm glad I'm using endstone to do this, because this is a great use for my endstone. I have so much endstone, gentlemen. I have 3 double chests and then a little bit extra in the 4th of shulker boxes of endstone. I have so much endstone. How much endstone have I got, actually? Hold on. 313,538 blocks. What is the times mine? Okay, endstone is my most mined block by quite a margin. The next one is stone, which is 1,809. Then deepslate, which is only 60,000. Then grass and dirt. Leaves, 33. Netherrack, sand, mud, andesite. Like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, Enderman, obviously the most killed. Squid are next. That's crazy to think that it's Enderman and then just squid. It's kind of funny. Interesting. Alright, anyways, distractions aside. I got work to do, dude. Can't be getting distracted now. Yeah, I've mined a lot of endstone. There's more endstone to mine. I actually need to update the end because I need to raise the middle platform. I think. I need to look at it again. Just remember what I wanted to do. And then I need to do that. So that's a future me problem. We gotta basically remove. I like the main outer rings that go to all the end gates. I like those. Then it's the bottom ring. It's the little ring that goes down and like dips up a little bit again. I think I don't like that, and I want that ring to actually be up the whole time and only go down for a little bit. So I think that'll look much better, and then that way the pathway can go down a little bit. After I place this, I'm going to take a look at that just because now I'm thinking about it. I really want to look at it and just look at the progress. Maybe I'll dig out a chunk of endstone. I'm running low on supply, you know. Maybe I should design. I've been also wanting to do a nether project and kind of get a nether hub up and running because we don't really have a nether hub. And I think it would be cool to have something nice. And I was like, what if I built a biome on the roof of the nether? And what if I used endstone as the main biome block? What does endstone look like in the nether? Because it might just look really bad. Which would not help our case. But maybe I can get ideas. Okay, there we go. So now that's up there. Again, we're perfectly lit. Parking lot's going to go back here. We'll worry about that a little bit later. Well, let's take a little bit of a break and look at the end and see what we're working with. We'll leave a little bit of endstone in our inventory so we can gauge what that's going to look like. But now that's raised up. It's looking good. Very good. Forest is looking great. We got one last thing to do to the forest before the video is ended. And then I got to just edit the crap out of it. I have so much editing to do. It's not... Guys, this is terrible. Oh, I need a little bit of endstone. It's terrible. I got so much editing to do. I have the freaking recorded session to edit. I have my Instagram videos to edit. I have my Fellowcraft videos to edit. My Elden Ring videos to edit. It's just... Soon my thesis film to edit a little bit, maybe, depending on how it works. Okay, here's a stupid thing about this, okay? I have an editor for my film. However, I've heard that even then, oh yeah, what does this look like? It does not change very much. It still looks like endstone. It looks more like cheese. I don't know, maybe I'll look at blocks that would mesh well with endstone and figure something out. Because maybe, let's see, we're in a Soul Sand Valley, so it's blue, which is kind of problematic. But maybe we can get, like, a sandy, kind of desolate desert going. With maybe blue, or maybe actually red, since the terrain is blue. Maybe reddish colored stuff, right? So if we look at the end, we get into the end, right? Obviously, a lot of progress has been made. This ring is great. It's this little dip here that I don't like. Oh, wait, no. So it's the other way around, actually. I want to lower this ring to this level and do that instead. And actually swap these. So lower this, have this go straight to the Wither Killing Chamber. No, sorry, have that go straight to the end portal. My bad. And then you would wrap around to go down into the Wither Killing Chamber. And then, I know Jordan just left. Jordan had something set up here. He's got the allays back here. They're just out of render distance. He's welcome to set up his thing over here, and maybe we can collab it a little bit so I can, decorate it, make it look a little bit nicer, while he builds the actual mechanics of it around it, and we can kind of finagle with this little room back here. This was just kind of an idea, but I want to do that. I want to lower this whole thing. That's annoying, because there's so many freaking dragon eggs. There's so many dang dragon eggs on this whole thing. I gotta move all of them down now. It may also be worth removing this tower, this pillar ring. The only reason I haven't removed the pillars, because originally this ring was much larger where the pillars were, and I was going to remove all the pillars, but then I changed that because some members didn't know if they were going to kill the dragon again. Of course, every time you respawn the dragon, it respawns pillars, which is not good. That means you're not got to deal with that. And so the reason why, that would also help this bit be a little bit smoother, going from there to the lower layer would be much smoother. We obviously need to extend this out. We need to, what I'm thinking, I'm going to remove the Ender and rebuild an Ender in this design. We can do that. But the real reason is so that when you get up to the ring, you'll walk around this, and then you'll be able to walk up into that. Because right now, you either have to fly to it or walk around. And a lot of people probably use the end as like a quick transport. Like, oh, I want to get back to my base. I'm probably going here. But, actually, you do sell mud. I am going to buy you out. Wait, hold on. How much was it? Okay, so it's mud. That'll never be restocked again, gentlemen, but that's okay. I got mud now. Also tons of frog lights. More frog lights. I bought all the rooted dirt a while ago. I don't need to put it in the shulker box. I already got shulker box. No, I don't. I used up on it, remember? So I do need a shulker box. Okay. The iron golem's looking great. Personally, since this is meant to be a much longer world, we should do away with the shopping district. And instead make a communal farms area in this same area. And just build a bunch of farms, like very high-end farms that produce lots of materials that anyone and everyone can take from. I think that would be a really cool idea. Not that they're running all the time, but that you just have. But yeah, this is just the end right now. And like, I think it'd be cool to actually make this look cooler and nicer, you know? And like, what better way than to outline the literal chunk, the literal Soul Sand Valley that we're in. Outline the whole thing and make a biome out of it. And then, you know, when you enter the Nether, it feels like you're entering a different, literally a different dimension, even though you are literally entering a different dimension, you know what I'm saying? But like a different dimension to even the Nether. By using Endstone as our main block. Would be crazy. Okay. Let me start planning out this parking lot. Because ironically, that's actually something that's a little easier to figure out. Do I not have any polished tough bricks? I don't. That's kind of crazy. This is a campsite. So let's make like 6 stacks of this stuff. And I need iron bars. Should have plenty of iron bars. Got tons of anvils. I do not have plenty of iron bars, but that's okay. Because I know where I can get more. That's all that's important. We can start planning out with the parking lot and get at least the exterior stuff figured out. The interior stuff probably is going to be an off-camera thing. Just because that's going to require a lot of thought. So do I want to have this here? Because if I have that here, if I have it on the outside, like I do on the other ones. Oh, I see why I did that. So you would have 3 blocks of space here. Now for this, it's fine. The weird thing is obviously for here, I definitely want this. So I feel like at this point, I still want to keep those. I might as well just make it like this. Which does give 4 blocks, but maybe I'll put little benches there. I don't know, that could be kind of cool. feel like this makes sense. And then you leave that open. And that way, it's like this little... And then on this block here would be the light for these guys, right? Or actually, the light for those guys. Sorry, it'd be the opposite way around. And then we'll probably... We'll have the lights. Probably we'll just literally have the lights on this, like popping out a little bit. Make it look like that was intentional. I'm thinking this will wrap around all the way. Until... Right, so it'll go all the way to there, and then it'll go one over. And that's where that'll go. And probably shave this off, and eventually we'll obviously terraform all of this. We'll terraform all of this and have the ground come up to this area a little bit better. And probably have it come up way more. And be more of a fall off into this. I also need to think about what the edge is going to really look like for the entire area that's next to water. Because right now... Right now we have like this dirty effect going on. Which is fine. Let me see. So this is... This goes all the way to the front. So we'll just follow this along. We'll just follow this along and we'll match it up to the other side. The correct way. Well, what kind of... We'll figure that out. We'll make it work. Yeah, we'll do this. Again, I think this is going to terraform. I needed it more as a platform when I was building other stuff, because it's useful to have this little extra bit here. But for right now, we'll just cover that up. And then we'll do this, because this is... Oh, it might not work. Yeah, it's not going to work, because that's going to happen every time. Alright, I think it's probably going to be faster to just do this. Alright, so we're going to walk around. We're going to put all the iron bars down. May need to restock on iron bars. And then, of course, we obviously have the crosswalk, which is letting people in. Probably going to have the entrance to the building right here. Just, it makes the most sense. With that, probably then going to open up, because it would make more sense, I think, to have this be the spot to enter this area, which means we are gonna have the door right underneath this. That just makes the most sense. Probably 4 blocks, maybe. I don't know. No, that looks bad. 2 blocks it is. What did I do for the other ones? Do I have 2 blocks or do I have 4 blocks? I only have a 2-block one entrance there, and I have a 2-block entrance there. Okay, cool. So 2 blocks. That's going to get you inside. What I'm probably going to do is this bottom floor right here, probably going to be storage. So I'm going to have everything above this layer is going to be... So probably this wall is going to be sheep farms. The very top is going to be the pumpkin and melon farm. One big old pumpkin melon farm. And then maybe I can probably fit the sugarcane farm in there, because that sugarcane farm is I'm gonna use the Tango Tech design, and that should be that can kind of fit anywhere and it can expand in any direction as well. So we can probably fit it to the space that we have. And those are really the farms that I need. And then off in this distance, in this corner, is where I want to have the creeper farm. Probably in these like 4 chunks, probably these 4 out here. And then have the road extend downwards this way, probably all the way to here, and then have the building here, And this will be like a little turnaround zone. And then the parking lot will be right here. Similar to this one. Oh, I did in fact run out of iron bars. Let me clear my inventory because we don't need these blocks anymore. Let me go down, grab more iron bars, and get that all set up. And I'm thinking about, okay. I'm thinking about swapping my content style over a little bit and moving to, because I'm recording stream right? Recording stream. I'm thinking about swapping from actually like making clips like, hey, what's up guys? You know, making clips like that and describing things and going purely to a, here's what I'm doing, here's a voiceover of what I'm doing. It's probably actually faster to go through the nether to get there than it is to fly. Because I find those videos more entertaining than the, let me talk you through what's going, like, I'm gonna build this, let's build that, time-lapse, boom, boom. But obviously we'll have time-lapses in certain areas. I did not make a time-lapse of that building at all. That's fine. Oh yeah, you can make those now. I forgot about that. But, yeah. Okay. Gotta go the other way. Gotta go through all of the secrets, man. Through the freaking national treasure, you know? And I'm lazy, so we're not gonna walk down. Okay, look at it. I intentionally made it so that way you had to go up and down that whole thing. Very, very intentional choice. I have so many iron bars. We're just gonna fill up the inventory. Except -1. Probably start getting iron bars now. Look at that. Guys putting in the work. We got plenty of stuff. We got so many chains. We're almost full on chains. Not as many anvils. Iron trapdoors. Alright, I got a system in place which will shut off, at least for these two, which will shut them off. So it'll lock the hoppers, so that way items can no longer go through that area. This is really dark, by the way. Really dark area. That's okay. Beautiful little iron farm here. Not super efficient by any means. We got our little happy gas that's chilling in here. We got one of them that's not working at full capacity because we got a little explosion over there, so we've left that to remind us of our mistakes. Got a lot of cool stuff. How high up is this daggone guy there? And we gotta go the other way now. Bingus. Just enough time for you to get through, yeah? And not set my spawn. Alright, the hay beds are gonna be really cool if you're, like, exploring. But if you're not exploring, I feel like they're not gonna be that crazy, you know? Like, I'm not gonna use that, because that's a consumable. I don't want to use that every time to sleep. Like, I'm just gonna put down the bed, especially if I'm working in my area, because, like, I can easily get back to this area without my spawn point being set, you know? Whereas, like, if I'm exploring, I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, it don't matter. Because at the end of the day, if I'm out exploring and I'm using the hay beds to not set my spawn, either way, when I die, I'm heading all the way back to my bed versus heading all the way back to my spawn point. I guess the only benefit is if you have, like, an auto-equipper, which will automatically give you all of your armor and tools to go back out. That's kind of cool. And yes, I'm aware I didn't need this many iron bars, but that's okay. Alright. Let me, in that case, put those away, and we can start thinking about the design of the parking lot. I should probably grab my white wool. This is why I need an why I need a wool farm, because I use so much yellow and white wool, and now blue wool. because we need. I decided it would make sense to have handicap spots. So now I'm putting those in. So now I need a different color style wool. It's great. So I need a wool farm. I need my own wool farm. I've been sourcing my wool from other locations. Obviously, it's not enough. Okay. Probably going to start from behind it, going around. Is my thought process. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do this. Obviously, no parking right there. And I'm so excited for the wool stairs and slabs and the concrete stairs and slabs. I think that's going to be cool. All right, so obviously nothing there. And then probably on the other side, but on this side, 6. We can keep this as a parking spot. Hey. Okay. And go down this way. Okay. We have that. How much space is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So theoretically, could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We really wanted to maximize parking spaces. We could do literally just parking spaces right in the center. Probably not one right. Maybe I do just one right here. Literally, you just park right there. Oh, hello. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't like that. I think it would be better to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And unfortunately, that does mean we would lose a good portion of this space. Just because we would have parking spots this way. But I do think that's a better 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do think that's a better use. These are both going different ways. It's kind of funny. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, this spot in this little bit right there is going to be bigger, but that's fine. And then I'm thinking we have an in and out point. Right? So in point would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then out point would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here. And then down the middle would be, you know, light, no light, light, no light, light. That light can't be there because obviously that. All right, this is a 6-block gap right here. Yeah, I was like maybe motorcycle lane, but if we do this, that'll make it 5 on that side. And 5 on that side and 4 in the middle. I think that looks better than the big 6 because a 5-block gap, especially next to these two big things, that doesn't look that much bigger than the rest of them. By technicality it is. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 parking spots. I think I'm going to change this up. So I think I want to do light, no light, light, no light, and then 1 light on this guy. And then you would drive around this way, you would drive around this way, and so you'd come in the one way, you'd leave the other. Theoretically, maybe not have a parking spot here, because they obviously have to, like, drive out and then awkwardly turn onto an open roadway. However, it's not like it's a busy roadway, and these guys are scientists, not road designers. So, yeah. That's that. Alright, let me grab the other bits. I gotta think about ending soon. As volleyball is getting quite close, gentlemen. And I am very sore. But I'm gonna do it anyways. Because this is the last time I can before the semester starts. We're gonna run out of time by that point. It's not good. Now, with these, is it only made out of that? Okay. Those are 13 blocks tall. I think I used all of these, right? Or do I just... Yeah, I use all of them. Alright, now I need the redstone bits for this. I believe all my redstone bits that I used are in here, right? So daylight sensors, lamps. Or do I have them in other bits? I might have. Yeah, I have a couple extra. Otherwise, that's all the daylight sensors that I got. Right, and this is 13 blocks tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. Okay. Let's build these. Get those up and running. But look at that. It's a small parking lot, but that's because it's meant for the bigwigs of this building, while everyone else has to park in the garage. I might put a small parking lot somewhere near this. Like, if this road continues, I might actually have like a small parking lot on this part of the hill and like have, maybe not small, but it'll be this size right here. And that'll be for like the bigwigs. They'll park right next to the building while everyone else has to park in there. And so this road I plan to extend this way, and it might just go up this little like area. Maybe I'll actually try to like curve this one around or something. I don't know yet. But I could do something more exciting with that. Also, I realized I did not grab any frog or shroom lights to put underneath. But that's okay. So a little median right here, looking very snazzy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's this. That's to this. My hands are so sweaty right now. I don't know why. Very nice. Alright, just gonna build these, then I want to get the lights underneath, and that'll be it for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should I put another one over there? Oh, really? What was even that? Bruh. Do not know how I slipped off of that. There we go. Would it make sense? The problem is it doesn't line up at all. I feel like I almost want to make it this one 5 as well and actually have the 4 on the other side just so this lines up better. So I will say, hold on. Hold on, I just spotted something, right? If Wheeze push this in, right? If Wheeze push this into here, then you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4. That's 4. And there's 4 here. There's 3 here. Doesn't quite line up. But I think it would probably line up so all of these back ones are 5 blocks. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, not quite. These spots in the back are much bigger. But I'm also thinking we could have this be like motorcycle parking. As kind of as a thought that I'm having. We could have this be motorcycle parking, and we could actually put like a line down here and a line down here. Because if we put a thing right here, I don't know. Because these are actual guys, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could do this. Or again, maybe. That could work. We have 3 motorcycle parking spots, and then we have regular ones. Hold on. Hold on. Let me clear my inventory. I decided I also don't want to put a light there. And let me grab shroom lights. And also might as well grab some of this shit over here. And then we can also put the light. Yeah. Shroom lights. Carpet. I don't have enough. This is the problem. I don't have any blue whatsoever. I don't even have enough white carpet to make the arrows. I guess I added more wool, but we'll worry. That's a future me problem right now. Okay. We do this. Obviously, everything is not lit up, so we can do that. Oops. My watch keeps buzzing. People keep texting the group chats that I'm in. Not too concerned about that. Don't know. There's not much I can do about that. We can try to light up as much of this spot, as much of this space as I can. Now this is light. Very good. Very good. So at night, it'll feel like these are obviously lighting it up, when in reality, they're not. Alright, that is all for today. A little motorcycle parking and all of that kind of jazz. Very nice little parking lot. I like the idea of putting a parking lot behind the other guy. I think that'll look very nice. Let me go ahead and drop off them jits. This stone. Alright. That's a very productive stream today. Very good with that. Alright, that's going to do it for today. Let me see who is live at this current moment in time. We can end the recording. Let's see who is currently live. Anybody live that we want to raid today? Calagrian Knight just never remembers me, so I don't feel like I'm gonna worry about all those notifications a little bit later. Let's see who is. That's what I want to go to. Sometimes I have to go to my other account to see who is live. Oh. Or are these on the same? These are on the same account right now. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Let's raid. We can do get railed. Or Calagrian Knight. Technically Bushy, but he's playing Balatra right now, so that's not really the game. We want to rate somebody playing Minecraft. Let's see, who else is live? We go into Minecraft. Anybody that I recognize? Let's just do Calagrian Knight. That's why I'm following him. It's to rate him. We'll just do it. Alright. We'll make him remember me. Ironically, I say that as this is probably the last stream for the next 4 months. Because I am going to school and I will not have time. Wolf. That's right. Wolf. Pack. Attack. Incoming. Dugwo Raid. Dugwo Heart. Except it's with a lowercase d. And Dugwo High. Alright, let's raid on over. And that's going to do it.